Well, hello everybody. How are we all doing today? I am once again trying to... Well, hello everybody. How are we all doing today? And once again, it's being rejected. So I sent it out on the email chain. And that's about all I can do. So let's see if it works. I don't know why it does it the way it does. It's kind of silly. That is what it is. What's up, ID guy? How you doing, mate? Maybe that'll work. Copy and paste thing. Let's see what it does. How's everybody doing today? It's been a while. I've missed you. Hope everybody's doing okay.
Zippo, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Been too long.
It has. It has.
How you been keeping?
Good, man. Good.
Good to hear.
Welcome, everybody.
Took a little bit to figure out, but we made it.
There you go. You sound good.
Thank you.
Look good. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while, but we're back.
Relocated.
There you go.
Not quite set up, but
all right.
Hopefully it sounds okay.
Yeah, you sound okay. You sound okay.
Might be a little echoey, but
a little bit. There's Thomas. Hello.
Hi guys, you well?
Hey.
We're good, Thomas. We're
Great
good.
to be back. It's been 5 weeks. You got yourself a new house now, Zippo.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with setting up. Like right now, I'm just in the basement.
There you go.
Hey, well, that's a start, isn't it?
Yeah. Got all the electrical figured out, so that's something.
Okay. Hey, slowly but surely you turned it into a man cave and you'll be all set.
Exactly. Yeah. Got my
Say hello. Just a quick hello to everyone. Chasing Time, HBA, Matthew Gurlitz, ID Guy, just visiting. Howdy from Texas. Yeah. Happy Labor Day.
Hey guys, yes, happy Labor Day to all those that celebrate that, and welcome everybody. Big hello to you, howdy from Texas. What's up, man? And everybody else, welcome back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
For those of you who are new, this is Sunday with the Punters, and you'll find no experts or gurus here.
No, not at all.
This is just 6 friends talking about watches, and you've got the handsome devil behind the controls, flipping Zippo.
Yeah,
Thomas Burnett over in England. Hopefully, we'll have NS something up in Canada and Neo. And then the sixth friend is you guys. You guys are an integral part of the show. So
absolutely.
So just sit back and relax, and we'll talk some watches.
Sounds good. Neil, I don't know if he's still on a call, and then NS, he is busy.
All right.
Yeah, he's busy for a bit. Hoping he's got some family commitments. He's hoping to join later on, I think, is NS. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Which is just fine.
Yep.
How's everybody's long weekend? Do you guys all get, Thomas, do you get Labor Day?
No, we don't get Labor Day here. We've had a bank holiday at the end of August, so we had that off, bank holiday Monday, but we don't get a Labor Day as such. No, I think that's an American thing. Do you get Labor Day in Canada?
We do, yeah.
Oh, right. It's not an American thing, and it's a Canadian as well.
It's a North American thing.
Yeah. North American thing, yeah.
ID guy, yeah, come on, man. By all means. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, jump on ID guy. That'd be great.
Who else do we have? Chasing Time, hello. Chi-Town, howdy. Nick J. Kubo. I love that name.
Yes.
I don't say it, but hello from London. Good to have.
Kubo, new face. Yeah, welcome, my friend. Great to see you.
Very cool. What's everybody wearing?
I have my my Explorer 2 on.
Nice. Good choice.
Well, I'll just show you what I'm wearing. It's a new watch. It's a new prototype I got from Ingersoll. It's I'll just see if I can get my camera done. Yes, it's the Ingersoll Hatton. It's a 47mm by 15mm thick, 100-meter water resistant. It's using a Miyota 820A automatic movement. It's got a day and date function. It's in a stainless steel case with a cream dial, as you can see. And the dial resembles a Target. It's in a Flieger style with a push and pull crown. And the dial resembles a Target, apparently. And it's got a 12 o'clock indicator, Flieger style 12 o'clock indicator, as you can see. And leather strap with pin buckle. And it's got the Ingersoll logo stamped on the side. And you can see it's got the Miyota movement in the back and the display case back.
Yeah,
it's a great watch, this one. It's retailing for £360 this one at present, but it's on a special offer for £180, which is a great deal. And it ties in with our sort of pilot's theme that we're going for today. And it's just being a pilot's watch. I'll just quickly put it. Comes in a lovely Ingersoll box as well, the dovetail box.
Nice.
But I'll just put this one on the wrist quickly.
Always love a wrist shot.
Are you wearing your 214270 blue shirt?
I'm wearing my 216570 Explorer 2.
Nice. Yeah, so there's a quick wrist shot of that one. It's a really nice watch, this. I really like it.
I don't know what the term for that is. Those numerals, the way it's cut like that to look like a stencil.
Yeah, they are sandwich. It is a sandwich style, actually.
It is. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, it's got sandwich style effect on it. As you can see, I don't know whether you can make it out, but it's just got a black base, so it's not loomed in the back. But it's a bit like the one of the watches I was going to bring up later, which is a Breitling, which is they say is like the marks that are on the deck of a aircraft carrier. A bit like that.
So there's no loom at all, or is the dial loom?
No, the hands are loomed. The
hands are
loomed.
loomed. Okay.
Yeah, the hands are loomed. So, but the dial isn't. The numerals aren't loomed.
Okay.
Just the hands.
All right.
And then I got a quicker book recommendation. And
Okay.
seeing as we very topical, seeing as we've got the stellar dialed Rolexes that have come out, we've got a red covered Rolex book in the coral red stellar dial color.
Very appropriate, Thomas.
Yeah. And this one's the Book of Rolex. It's by Jens Hoy and Christian Frost. And it's one of the ACC art books. And it's a really nice, it's a bit more in depth than the last one I showed you last week. Or the 5 weeks ago in the last show, sorry. And it's goes over a brief history of Rolex and how Hans Willdorf started the foundation, and because he didn't want investors to get their hands on the company, and a bit of a history about the how the Great Escape used how the soldiers from the Great Escape used Rolex watches to time their escape from the camps in Germany, and how they got hold of them, and how Hans Wilsdorf sold them to the soldiers, and they didn't pay for them until after the war when they got them, and they sold them for £19. Princely sum of £19 for a chronograph, a Rolex chronograph back then.
Right. Pretty amazing.
And how the one that was used sold for £66,000 in 2001.
Wow.
And then a bit about the different models, all the Daytonas, how they're made in the factory and how they're tested, and each Rolex is dropped from 20 centimeters high as part of the testing. And
Interesting.
yeah, how often to service your watch and what they do when they service them, and a bit on each of the models, and the different bracelets and how the movements. A bit about all the different models again, going through the models, the history, the older models, a bit about the advertising and all the different advertising campaigns they've had, a bit about the different nicknames that they take on, like the Bart Simpson, the Feet First, the Meters First, all the different nicknames they've had, the Eye of the Tiger, the Hulk, Kermit. Really interesting book. Like the James Bond, the Leopard, all the different models.
Cool. Yeah, no, this looks like a good book. I gotta pick this up.
Yeah.
Yes, and lots of lovely pictures, as you can see. Some really nice pictures. Yeah, a bit about the Cellini and a bit about Rolex's forgotten brother, Tudor, as well. A bit about the history of Tudor. They say Rolex's forgotten brother, Tudor. So a bit about Tudor and their watches and their history. So it's a nice book. This one, really nice one. Nice recommendation.
Not a small book either, is
The
it?
Book of Rolex. No, it's quite a substantial book.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's my book recommendation for the week. Yeah. As I say, how to spot a fake and all sorts of things in there. Why vintage is an investment, and how changing the dial on your Rolex, all sorts of different things covered in there. So Yeah.
I might want to check that one out myself.
Mm.
The Book of Rolex.
Yeah, so one for the Rolex heads.
Yeah, I just added that into my Amazon cart. So
Yeah, I was way out there. Yeah. Good recommendation. Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah, and as always, if any of the punters want to come on and come on the channel and recommend a book to us, that'd be greatly appreciated. And show us their books.
Mm-hmm.
We're always promoting that.
That's
If
always
anybody
welcome.
wants to come on and show us a book,
Yeah.
it's always always welcome.
Got to say hello to Junior. Good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
Junior.
Hey, Junior.
And
Hands, feet, and toes. Hello to you too.
And
Fisto Bowser with my favorite avatar on the handmade Bowser from Nintendo. I love it.
And we've got a little something Junior's donated, haven't we? Do you want to tell us a bit more about that blue shirt?
yeah, our good friend, a friend of everybody out there in the YouTube watch world, Junior Johnson, graciously donated a watch to the channel for us to give away. It's a really beautiful bronze case slash divers slash pilots watch from a company called Steel Dive, and it's in a little plastic case. It's really nice. Do you have the pictures, Zippo?
I somewhere have them. Yes. Sorry, I didn't have them quite.
No worries.
Planned,
So we'll keep you guys posted on how we're gonna give that watch away. But big shout out and much thanks to Junior Johnson, who is very gracious and donated this watch, which is really a nice little watch.
It is. Okay, now hop around a little bit here. Oh, Thomas. Okay. I think Thomas is probably switching to his computer.
Probably.
Do this then.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
And you're back.
Go. And let's see if I can show this one a little bit here.
Did you have the specs on that, Thomas?
I don't have the measurement. It's a steel dive, bronze cased pilot's watch, as far as I know.
Yep. Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
And
I don't have any specs. I don't have any measurements for it. No, but it's as you say, it's been graciously donated by Junior Johnson, and it's. I thought we could call this new feature "From Punter to Punter." So it's a new way of punters donating to each other. If they're interested, they can.
And this is brand new in box.
Yeah. It looks to me like a 40 millimeter. I don't know whether Junior, if in there, if you have the there it is. Yeah. But it's really nice. Nice.
If anybody would like to come on the stream and tell us their views on pilot watches and qualify for a giveaway, yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
It's definitely pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Junior.
He wanted to donate it to one of the punters on the show, so it's
on a nice leather strap
up for grabs.
Yeah, it's a like a Flieger or a style but yet it's a bronze diver's case. So it's kind of a mix and match, but it's very cool, very wearable.
Oh, Junior's saying 39 millimeters.
39. Okay.
Yeah, nice size. Great size.
Yep. Yeah. So anybody can wear it.
Yeah, so it's not huge like IWC Big Pilot. It's
Right.
It's a nice size one. So yeah, if anybody fancied jumping on and telling us a bit about the collection or about how this would fit into their collection, they're more than welcome.
Okay.
Absolutely. Plus again, I think you got to do the copy and paste thing. Because once again, it doesn't let you post direct link. 39 mil, that's a great size.
It is.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's lovely size. Great size.
So you want to tackle? I know NS something you normally does the watch news, but since he's not here, and since I guess I'm the
Rolex
channel's
aficionado.
Well, no, more like official fanboy. You want to Zippo hop over to Rolex.com and then click on new releases, and we'll get this out of the way since every channel in creation has voiced their opinions on the new Rolex releases. And then
Hot
we'll move
topic
on.
of the moment, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's only appropriate to have a little talk about it.
Yeah, since it's the most hyped up news of the past week.
It is. It's significant.
Yeah. So we'll get the first two out of the way quickly because they really don't. They're not that big a deal. There's a 31 millimeter date just now. So that was.
I don't know if this is. Sorry, everyone. Just
Hi, welcome.
and I realized that I can't hear through the headset I'm using. Apologies. I'm gonna mute myself for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So as I was saying, the least important aspect of the new announcement was a new 31 millimeter date just, which is fine. The other release was that the all precious metal Sky Dweller is on rubber now, which again is fine. But if you ask me, if you want a precious metal Sky Dweller, you're going to want to pony up a little bit more money and get your goals worth on the bracelet.
Yeah, damn straight.
41,000 US for a gold watch on a rubber bead. Just it doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't at all.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of thing they should just say, yeah, this is thrown in.
Can you repeat what was the price again? One more time. 40. How much?
41,000 US
On rubber.
on rubber.
Good God.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, ID guy. Welcome.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
welcome.
for having me on. Really, I don't want this
Yeah,
to
you're
be.
welcome.
I don't want to be a time when I can talk. I want to sit back, listen to you all, and just, how's the sound? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound
Yeah,
perfect.
great, loud and clear.
Courtesy of Blue Shirt, by the way. Blue Shirt suggested this microphone set, and it is the most amazing $30 I've ever spent. That's all I can say. Incredible.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm glad. So anyway, rubber bee, Oyster Flex rubber bracelet on the Sky Dweller. Okay, if that's what floats your boat, then so be it. Not too exciting. The next one for me is the one that we all expected. The revamping and now resizing of the Submariner. We've gone up in case size to 41, up from 40. But then those lugs that everybody complained about with the super case, well, I shouldn't say everybody complained. Some people complained about them. I didn't really have an issue with them, but they did make the watch look a little blocky. They have been trimmed. So
Yeah.
from what I've been able to read and from what I've been able to see in comparison pictures, again, I haven't seen this watch in person, and frankly, nobody has. It's pretty darn close. I really don't think that it's going to make that they're still trying to keep the ratio is going to be very, very close to what it was before. It should fit and feel very similar to what the watch was before. You know, yes, they increased the case size by 1 millimeter, but they did trim it down a little bit and make it a little more slimmer. The bracelet did go up from 20 millimeters to 21. But again, I think that's just to keep the overall proportions in check.
One thing that I want to add that I don't understand, I don't know yet, I don't know the numbers, but the lug-to-lug length, what is that? Is that 50 at this point? Is that 49? That's one element that I haven't highlighted. And
That's a good question.
By the looks of things, seeing it on the wrist of some people, it looks a little bit longer in length than it was previously.
Yeah,
so
it could be.
Maybe that could eliminate a few. I don't know. There's so many elements to this watch we can chat about for sure.
Exactly. You know, that's a very good point, ID guy, and I'm not sure what the lug-to-lug ratio is. Length.
The length, the actual true length. There've been some good points made on it though. Like it's considered to be the new scaled down Sea Dweller 43. It feels that way in a sense. The proportions have that same kind of relationship there. Looking at the lug width and all the rest. Yeah.
Interesting point. That
It's the comments have been pretty amazing on this series of pieces that have come out, and the opinions that everyone's been sharing. It's very interesting hearing what people like, what they don't like, and 2 steps forward, 1 step back in a few avenues and areas. I don't know.
Right.
We can definitely dig in if you guys like.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, people were, you know, people with a smaller wrist were clamoring to downsize the watch. People with my size wrist, you know, it didn't really matter. But I think that I don't know. It's hard to speculate and say for certain without seeing the watch in person.
Getting it in hand. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I don't think that the change is going to be, at least from what I could see online in the pictures, it doesn't look. Yes, it looks a little bigger, but I don't think it's gonna wear drastically different.
No. It's what's interesting. I don't know if this has been a subject brought up, but the whole subject of keeping it 40 millimeters and just tapering the lugs, would that have affected the watch in any severe way? Now that they've pushed it to 41, it's. I mean, how do we even begin talking about this subject? How the brand has gone with the Sea Dwellers and the deep seas, and it's just a natural progression from what the brand's doing.
It is,
Yeah.
and you know, Rolex. It seems they don't go backwards. They're only moving up.
Only going one way.
They're only going one way. Now they have. I guess they have decided that, you know, dive watches need to be 41 millimeters, at least.
Yeah.
So,
what I find funny of all, a great comment was left about how Omega's been doing this now for how long? I mean, their Seamaster's been around since the 90s, and it was like 41 mils. Right. And the new release from 2018 was that the revamped version of the Professional. 42 mils.
Correct.
And they've seen some great points. Like, you know, Rolex is playing catch up in this race with a lot of these factors. I don't know. It's all up to interpretation.
Right. So besides the dimensional differences, what was most longly overdue was that you now have the new movement inside. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Which is a 70-hour power reserve, and really a modern movement that is going to from what I've been able to read, is going to go even longer in between services.
Yeah. And it's questioning, do people really want a 70-hour power reserve in their watches? Is it necessary if you're wearing it every day or every second day?
Right.
Yeah.
I think the thing that makes the 70-hour power reserve nice is that if you are wearing it every day during the week and you want to switch up on the weekend and you put it down on Friday night,
basically a full week.
Right. It'll still be running when you pick it up again on Monday morning.
Yeah.
That's the nice feature, that I think matters to a lot of people. So,
it's a great point. I think HBA said only the 39 millimeter Explorer is only one left. That'll grow to 41. Yeah, they're going to inject some human growth hormone into that next year.
See, I'm not so sure about that, and I was going to get to that. And it is a very valid point. The Explorer, which is, I love mine, is now the only 39 millimeter watch that Rolex makes.
Yeah.
With the demise of the OP39. Now, here's what I'm thinking maybe they do. I don't think they're going to touch the Explorer. I think they're going to keep it at 39, and I think that next year we might see a polar version of the Explorer to compensate for the white dial and the black dial OP39 being discontinued.
Yeah.
You'll now have...
Yeah, it's very good.
You'll now have a choice, maybe, if they do it, having a black and a white dial Explorer at 39 millimeter. It'll, give a shot of life into that line.
Yeah, it's so divisive. There's so many areas, there's so many directions they could go with it. I mean, what would be great? Imagine them tailoring for the female audience with 36 mils on one side and then 39 or 41, having that balance between the two. It'd be great to see the Explorer expanded into smaller sizes for people. I don't know. Make it more egalitarian. Is that the word? I don't know. It's Sunday.
Yeah, again, quite possibly, but I just don't see them reintroducing a 36 millimeter Explorer. I think
they go forwards. Yeah,
they're only going to go forwards. But who knows? Rolex has done some. They move at a glacier's pace, but they do once in a while throw some surprises in. The back to the Submariner. So we have lost the Hulk. And we have lost the Smurf. So the green dial, green bezel Submariner is gone. The all gold, all white gold, blue dial, blue bezel Submariner is gone. What we've gotten instead is we've gotten, as Zippo has up there on the screen, we have now what some people are calling a Cermet, a ceramic green bezel black dial.
Saw a really good name for this. They call it the Green Lantern. Looks like
there you go.
Lantern. Yeah,
I do like that.
Someone else saying the Starbucks, which is also pretty hilarious.
Right. I heard Starbucks. I heard Kermit 2. I didn't hear the Green Lantern. That's a good one. I like that.
Pretty decent.
I love that.
I like the Shrek.
Or the Shrek. Yes, I've heard that too. That too. Thomas, as a original Kermit owner,
this is exactly what I wanted to know. Thomas,
what do you think?
I quite like it, to be honest with you. Of course, I'm a pre-ceramic. I prefer pre-ceramic all the way, but I do quite like this one. I do. I must admit, I do like it. I like it a lot more than the Hulk. It was just the green dial of the Hulk. Didn't get along with it. It was just too much for me. It was overkill. But yeah, I must say I do like this one. I really do.
But one question I'd like to pose to all of you, I'd like everyone to answer this, was: do you think that removing the emerald dial kind of, what do you say, not cheapens, but it tames, it makes it, they're doing more with less, basically. They're reducing. And is it necessary? Do you think that was a bit of a cop-out in a way? because that green dial was really special on that watch.
It was.
The bezel, the bezel could be improved in a few places, but the green dial.
It did make the watch, didn't it? It made it something special, I suppose.
It did.
But, I mean, and this isn't a celebratory watch anymore. It's copying a celebratory watch, isn't it? The anniversary piece, which is
Does
it deserve to be there for that reason?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean that's a good point. I mean
That's what I think makes your watch special, Thomas, because yours was to celebrate an anniversary.
50th anniversary, yeah.
Correct.
The first anniversary of the Submariner was really important, which is even more special.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's one aspect which makes me think I don't really get it.
I personally also like the
Rolex
color.
Rolex do have to keep a green piece in the lineup, don't they? They do have to keep a green because it's their color.
From a business point of view, we've got lots of stock of green bezels that we can't have on the Hulk anymore because that's been gone. So let's just put it on another watch and get rid of the bezels.
Don't I wouldn't
Absolutely.
put that past Rolex. Not at all.
You
Not at
never
all.
know.
But I personally like the look of the pre-ceramic green bezel on your watch, Thomas, better than this. I don't mind this. This is fine. I was never a Hulk fan, so I realized that the green dial, made it really stand out and be special. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere down the road we're going to get an all yellow gold Hulk again.
You think?
Maybe. As the 70th anniversary, I'm sure it makes sense. Kind of runs true, possibly. Who knows?
Yeah, I've got Bowser saying he thinks the black dial works with the black, but the new Smurf looks far less glorious than the precious version.
That's well said. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. It's also we haven't seen most of these in natural light yet, so we can't make a full judgment. But they're doing more with less.
Absolutely.
By this appearance that we're seeing now.
Right. So along with the new, we will dub it the Green Lantern because I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, it's
I love that, yeah.
We have the standard Submariner, and then we have the Submariner Date, both with black dials and black bezels. And then finally, this one was the head scratcher for me. Was the white gold
blue bezel,
blue bezel and black dial.
I call this the blue bottle. This one.
I call it the Viagra, but don't. That wasn't a good call.
I've heard call this the Cookie Monster. I
like that.
This one was a head scratcher for me. Normally the Rolex reserves the blue dials for their gold watches. I don't know what they were thinking. I know people were clamoring for a steel blue bezel.
It's almost like, I think of Apple in a way. Just think of Apple products and how they promote their stuff. There is no real rhyme or reason to half of it. It is incremental improvement. And if one element works and it's assigned to that model, keep it in. Why not? It feels just like, not saying that they weren't thinking, but it's almost like they didn't really need to put much thought into it. They just said, okay, well, what do we have? This is what's worked in the past. Let's just package it and send it off. I don't know. You can't like, I don't know. You shouldn't read. I don't know. It's difficult to put together.
Is the Smurf gone then?
The Smurf is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said, they've got a recipe which works, so they're just churning it out, sort of thing.
It feels like it. It's sad to say, but it does feel kind of in that ballpark.
Well, again, Rolex has been known to be a little lazy in the past.
Yeah,
and this is the perfect amount of lazy for a reason. Rides that line. Beautiful.
As Thomas was just saying, they obviously have the recipe for making watches that people want, and they're just, every now and again they tinker with it just ever so slightly. But
let's be honest, they didn't need to do any of this stuff.
No,
they could have just put out Standard Submariners, be done with it. They didn't need to have any colors. So why they did this, it raises a few points. I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, I mean, all they literally had to do was, like you were saying before, ID guy, you just leave it at 40, trim the lugs a little bit, and plop the new movement in, and be done.
Bada bing, bada boom, damn, done. Yeah.
So, as again with the many things that Rolex does do, it's in stages. This is, I think, is just one stage. We'll have to see what happens in the following, years to come. Next year is going to be all about the Explorer 2 because it's the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, it's quite exciting to
I
think.
can't wait for that either.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what they're going to do with that.
I would just love a 1655 reinterpretation somehow.
You and me both.
Yeah.
You and me both. I wouldn't even mind if Tudor came out with a 1655.
That's been on the cards. I've been chatting to a lot of people about it, and it seems like there's so many opportunities for that brand to just capitalize off the vintage stuff if they want to.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
I mean, that is just one of my personal favorite watches of all times, the 1655.
So nice, isn't it?
It's beautiful. So I think we're done with the Submariner. Now, what personally I think was even the bigger news than the changes to the Submariner was the shot in the arm that the brand gave to the Oyster Perpetual. Now, I know this is a touchy subject with ID guy.
No, this is good. This is good.
These are the stars of the show. Literally, I thought
has been a line that has been long, in my view, and in the view of a lot of people, has been long overlooked and long forgotten about. They are definitely trying to target this watch towards a different audience. Sure, the people that are into the brand are still going to want these, but I think that the color variation,
it's not conservative in the slightest, and that's what makes them unique. Exactly.
I mean, you have to go back several years before you see colors like this. Now, what was interesting was that gone is the OP39. So no more black dial, no more white dial, and no more.
Yeah, like Shaitan was saying, no more white dial.
The amount of comments I got on that point alone says it's so disappointing. People were saying that their names were down on the list. They were ready to pick these up in the next month or two, and then culled. Can you imagine that? I feel for them all. Like, really, just it's a bummer.
Again, that's another reason why I'm thinking next year that you see a white dial Explorer.
Would be nice.
Iwatches and Giggles, you well.
Welcome.
Hey guys.
How are you, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
Chris dropped a video today about the new Rolex releases, so I'm glad you're here to chime in on this part.
Yeah, I haven't got to talk to you guys for a while, so I saw this was on, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
cool.
Good to see you.
Cool. So we briefly went through the Datejust 31 and the Sky Dweller going on rubber. We just finished up on the
rubber.
Good old sub.
And we just finished up the Submariner with the changes on that, and then we were just started to dive into the OPs.
Yeah, the star of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, my favorite of the release.
So as I was saying, the OP39s are gone. So the black dial, the white dial are gone, but also gone are the red grape and the white grape are gone.
Yeah, I thought the grape was actually really nice too. So sad to see that go.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
So now we move up from 39 to 41.
Yep.
Rolex has decided that 41 is now the benchmark standard. And
good point of discussion. Just that alone is a bit divisive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The selection of colors is a very bold move by them, I think. Trying to attract a younger audience. And, I just this watch now has a much sportier flair than it did before. You still, if you want to go dressy and you don't want a professional model, you go Datejust. If you want to, I don't want to call it entry level because the Oyster Perpetual is the oldest line that this brand has.
True. Yeah.
It's what made the brand. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really popular back in the day.
Granddaddy, isn't it?
It's so important. It is such an important watch to the line. Let's be real.
I happen to like the double indices at the quarters, and not
Me
everybody
too.
is a fan of that, but I don't have an issue with them. I think this is a great his and hers watch. Women now are wearing 41s. You still have the 36s and the 34s and the 31s.
Yep.
Not all the colors are available in the 41. If for those guys that you love that pink dial, I forget what they're calling it, something candy. You have to do that in 36. But
It's a really nice color, I must say. Like they've thought a lot about how they would get that palette going. Color, pastel, whether it's very expressive and saturated like the reds we're looking at now. It's nuts.
There you go. Orange Hand, I couldn't say it better myself. 41 is the new 40.
Yeah.
Seems to be so, yeah. It's true.
And technically it's 40.5. I think that's the measurement that they've taken of
Is
that
that
size. Yeah, they've rounded up. It's 40.5.
Okay.
Which is weird. But it's
This one
fascinating.
here likes Seiko 5, the black. Damn near identical.
I love that dial arrangement there. I think when the quarters are just ever so slightly accentuated, just so if you had to squint your eye, you would see that the quarters are a bit bolder. I think that's just so much more fluid than having double for the sake of
they're not double on there,
added
are they?
complexity. There's one fantastic reference maybe we can look at later, but it's I don't know if they have it on their website anymore. I don't know if they still stock them, but regardless, there's lots of elements thinking about what this watch is going to do, reaching out to different genders, different age groups. Something in the back of my mind tells me, a few have mentioned this, but it's almost like they're trying to reach into that Apple Watch marketplace in a sense, because that company has beaten. I mean, second to the Apple Watch is Rolex as a consumable in this space. And you think to yourselves, well, yes, it doesn't track your steps and do all the rest, but hell, it has the colors, and it's quite a jump into a $6,000 watch, next to the Apple Watch in a setting.
Have you guys touched on the Explorer being the only 39 millimeter Rolex sports watch left?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we just
was
did,
mentioning that.
Okay.
Yeah.
and I was saying that it would make sense for them, since there is no 39 OP in black dial and white dial, to introduce a white dial Explorer next year.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, I hope they do that.
You
Now,
want to hear some
also-
serious? One more thing to add. You want to hear some serious Rolex OCD?
Sure.
You got 28. I think so. The smallest they make is 28 mils, right? 28 or 26, round about there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 28. You have 30, 32, 34, 36, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. See, there's a pattern going on there at the end. I feel like they're getting a little bit too obsessive compulsed with their sizes. It's pretty great.
Now, do you think the Rolex Submariner being 41 millimeters will push more people now to the Rolex Explorer at 39 millimeters, because 41 will probably be too big for some people and they just won't like it?
My thought was that it will either push people to the Explorer or
Another brand.
it will push them
Yeah.
to the Tudor Black Bay 58
Yeah.
at,
Good point.
at
Very-
39.
yeah, good point, Blue Shirt. That's a very good point.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Does it really matter to Rolex where the money comes in from, whether
No,
it comes
no.
from Big Brother Rolex or Little Brother Tudor?
That's
I
a
don't
brilliant
think so.
point. That is
Yeah.
very, very concise, actually, when you think about it. Maybe
Yep.
that's how they're sharing. They're sharing sizes in a way to attract, different segments. That's pretty interesting. I like that. But there's
So-
all sorts of, we were speaking about in the beginning, we don't know what the true lug to lug length is of the 41. There's a feeling that it might be like 49.5, maybe even 50 mils in full length. That could eliminate the watch from a lot of people's buying choices. in the end.
Yeah, ID guy. That was my thought. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. We will
Well,
have to
it's-
wait and see.
Yeah.
Good point from Chi-Town, California. Says the OP is a less dressed up version of the Datejust, and
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, definitely. It's a more sporty version.
It's great. I mean, I think the fact that it got so much attention for once in a lineup and wasn't overshadowed by the sports models, they were very much on par. We noticed when we saw these watches being reviewed by the journalists that both of them got their own time in the limelight. They had their own separate videos and everything else. They weren't just brushed aside and photographed and that was it. So that's cool. But these colors I love. That turquoise. They're calling it the Tiffany, that blue. And that is going to be the gray market. Oof. I dread to think what kind of markups they're going to put on those in the gray market.
It's going to be a
Especially
popular
that.
one. That
Very
It's
definitely.
going to be interesting to see if we're actually going to see these watches in the 80s.
Bingo.
I feel
Good
exactly.
point.
Feel
Good
like they're
point.
going to be gone.
If they are actually there, I think that's going to be a boon, to the sales, because people who aren't even thinking about it will walk by that display case and see those colors, and
Got to get one.
yeah,
Oh, it's an eye catcher. Yeah. they're
correct.
Like, whoa, what's that? Holy cow. I've never
Right.
seen
This
that
is a
before.
Rolex.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Absolutely. Imagine
Yeah.
seeing these in the windows you walk past. I mean,
Mhm.
Oh,
great.
yeah.
stop straight away, wouldn't you?
And then
Absolutely.
again, you can do, if you wanted to, you could do a his and hers OP.
Yep.
I think
As
that
a
was
first watch too. I mean, that is such a cool example.
Yep.
So if anybody's on Reddit, I should just go there actually.
Okay.
I'll just search it out and show you guys what I just found.
Got some
Cool.
memes.
Yeah. r/watches circle jerk, the best place for memes out there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so many elements to think about. It's a pity because I'm sure there's going to be shortages of these now that the sports models are virtually. I mean, we're talking about the Submariners and everything, but I mean, who is actually going to get one? You have to be very lucky. I've got a few.
Absolutely.
Oops, I just hit the microphone. I've got a few interesting people I've met, and I mean, they have to be on the waiting lists now. And these guys, they've got big collections, but they still have to line in with everyone else. And they don't believe they're going to get them by end of the year, maybe even into early next year if they're lucky. And you just got to think, if you got to think that kind of length for a waiting list for just a Submariner, it pushes people into different areas, different categories, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just said that today. If a normal wait for a Submariner turns out to be 3 to 5 years, that's got to push people to other brands. I mean,
Yeah.
It's torture. It's like,
Yeah.
do you enjoy the torture?
No.
do you like the idea of being whipped by these guys every single month?
yeah,
Waiting for that phone to ring. It's like,
I don't. I've been waiting for a Rolex Explorer for 7 months now, so I don't enjoy it one bit.
just a 39 mil.
That's correct. Yeah,
That is,
yeah.
that's-
Really?
You gotta.
Wow.
It's like,
And
I mean,
I've bought 2 watches from them already that were more expensive than those. So
and back in the day, you could just walk past them in the windows. I mean,
Oh,
geez,
yeah.
a few
Yeah.
years back, what was
Yep.
it, 2016?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
You could get
No.
hands-on with any of these pieces and just
Yeah.
enjoy. But not anymore. Thanks, Instagram.
Yeah. Now
Well,
you're lucky
YouTube,
if
YouTube as well. I think
YouTube.
YouTube's had a lot to do with it.
yeah,
If
we're not helping. That's for sure.
No, we're not.
Talking about it is the
We're
worst
not,
possible
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's great. So what are we looking at here? Reddit. This is a boutique window.
Yeah.
Go-to source for what you know.
None for sale.
Hmm.
So
There you go.
yeah. Yeah, just that's state of things right now.
But as as far as the sizing goes, Chasing Time vintage watches put it best that it's in the lug to lug. It's more so than the case width. It really determines how it's going to wear on your wrist.
Yeah.
So
there've been some really good points about the actual thickness of the watch. It feels like it's slimmer by like a millimeter or two because of how they've shaped the lugs now. That could be something that factors in.
Yeah.
I mean, if you increase the watch's size, but then reduce the watch's overall thickness, that's fantastic. I love
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
I tell you, Reddit for watches is amazing. You see some great stuff. If they increase the watch's diameter, maybe reducing the thickness by 1 mil would also make it feel like it's smaller in size. There's
absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's always about what it's like on the wrist. I mean, look at that as a comparison. It is too green. The Hulk is a very green watch.
It is.
But the bezels, man, it looks like they've actually improved them.
So real
That's cool to
quick,
see.
is the green bezel on the new Kermit the same color as the old Hulk? Do we?
Yes, pretty. We have a feeling that it is. It's almost like they're moving old stock at this point.
Yeah. Got a feeling they are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which Rolex has done in the past. I mean, on my 214270 Mark One, I mean they literally used the hands
T-Rex hands, yeah,
from the 36.
Okay.
Yep.
So
That's a shame. If they didn't change the color even a little bit, that'll be disappointing. To me, I should say personally, that'll be disappointing.
So what is this? This comparison, no date, side by side. That looks pretty close. That lug length looks a little bit wrong. I don't think those lugs are that different. Looking at that, I mean, that looks like 52 mils almost. That's a
I
little
must
bit
say,
too
as,
far.
as someone who's always hated the Supercase, now that I see these pictures of the new ones and the old ones side by side, I'm starting to like the Supercase more.
And you know what the issue? You know what the issue
I'm
is?
starting to warm to the Supercase. It's
true.
strange. It's really strange.
The issue is that they've taken this 41 size and they've bumped up the diameter of the dial a little bit. They bumped up the diameter of the bezel a little bit. And now you look at it and you kind of screw your eyes up going, oh, there's something off here. And then you look at what the 40 mil does next to it. It feels much more compact.
it does.
And it's like, well, you've got the Sea Dweller. You've got the 43 mil that caters for it. I don't know if you guys have, I think Watches and Giggles has one.
I do, yeah.
It's such a beautiful watch when you look at the proportions. It fits the wrist perfectly. And you got to ask, did they really need to bump up the Submariner 2 along with Sea Dweller 43? Do you want a great looking dive watch in that area?
It didn't need doing, I don't think. It didn't really need doing.
Yeah, and they bumped up the bracelet too to 21 millimeter on the new sub. Yeah.
So you have to ask the question, if they bumped up the old sub 40 mil case, 21 mil bracelets, it would probably look a little bit more better relationship between the bracelet and the case.
I do like the fact that they've bumped the bracelet up though, to be honest with you. I think that makes it look a lot better.
And the clasp. Clasp has also got another millimeter on it, which is nice. I mean, it's a great present. But it's questioning that. I mean, did they really need to do it? Was there a point?
Well, obviously Rolex thinks so, and we'll have to just really wait and see. I want to reserve judgment until I see one.
Yeah. Is this the Rolex? Is this the Rolex Reddit, or is this watches on Reddit? Because this isn't ridiculous. All I'm seeing are Rolex here.
This is the Rolex.
Okay, good. I think. Sorry, guys. There was a good point by Orange Hand saying that would you be peed off? I don't know if you guys are allowed to swear here. If all of a sudden the 80s had all of their Rolex Steel Sports in their cases, would you be pissed off if they had all their watches in their cases? Scarcity makes them more desirable.
That's true. Yeah, scarcity does make them more desirable. That's true. I mean, are people pining after Tudors as much?
So the gray market in one fell swoop.
Well, if you go back in time, you could walk into the AD and see all the models there.
Oh.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah.
Panda Daytona in hand,
Yep.
Rolex Explorer 2 in hand. It was such a good day. I'll never forget that day.
Well, how many decades was the Daytona was the dog? Nobody wanted the Daytona. Nobody.
And that really
Great
is just the
point.
hype watch of the year. You compare it next to the Speedmaster and you think, come on, guys. I mean, is there a comparison between the two watches really in this kind of category? If you want something that has that extra punch to it.
Yep.
Yeah. True.
So, exciting news about the OP, and I think this was the big announcement, and as far as Rolex, and the most game changing, because you've made, even though this is not a professional model, the OP is a much sportier looking watch than it was before.
I must say, it does. There was a fantastic post I saw of basically something like the law attorney's sons all wearing these watches, all wearing matching shorts that had the same color that lined up. It was so good. I'll see if I can find it on Instagram and send it to you guys somehow, if I can pick it up again. Oh, it was funny today. Anyway, sorry to disrupt.
Yeah,
No.
Junior Johnson's actually saying he remembers the days when he could get discount on Rolex. So we truly are in a hype world these days, aren't we?
For sure.
So totally changed since the advent of YouTube and Instagram.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's crazy. It
You
is
know,
crazy, right?
another good question about the new OP41. If you can actually buy it at the AD, it's going to push people from other brands to Rolex now because the price is so attractive at 5,900 USD. I don't know if you guys made that point already, but
No, very good point. This is great because I find there are factions in my following, and lots of them are diehard Omega wearers. They only wear Omega watches, and they're saying when that white dial Explorer that I shared, they said I would drop an Omega and pick up this watch. Similar, getting the same answers for this, and saying I would most definitely pick one of these up, even though I'm a diehard Omega owner wearer. That's all I do. So I mean, it's great in that category. It's great to see that Rolex is so conservative. To see that they're putting their toe in the hot water for a change to see what happens.
Chi-Town, California's got a great comment. Move over Daniel Wellington and Michael Kors because there's a new fashion watch in town, the Rolex OP.
Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
It is fashion orientated, isn't it? It's great. I mean, and
it's going to get a lot of non-watch people, I should say, enthusiasts when they walk past the AD if they see him involved.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can afford it,
right,
definitely. Yeah.
Well, of course,
definitely.
yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of an expensive watch when you think about it. It's like $6,000.
Yep.
It's not something that you can just, decide, okay, instead of shopping, I'm going to pick up one of these today. It's like, whoa.
Fair point.
Yeah. But the super case, I wonder what's going to, we know what the next step's going to be. The GMT is going to get culled, and we're going to see that get the 41 treatment soon as well.
You think so, ID guy?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be.
I brought up that question myself today.
The Submariner case, the super case has always been that template that they've used as the base. And then from there, it's just build on top of it. Keep on building.
I don't know. Maybe they want to keep because now the GMTs have gone from a real tool watch
dress.
They're a lot more dressier now, especially on the Jubilees.
True.
So maybe they're going to keep that at 40.
Can you imagine if they just taper those lugs on that watch? How popular that piece would be?
Maybe they would. Maybe they will do that. I mean, right now, I think the other than a Panda Daytona, the Pepsi is probably the hardest watch to get because they're just an AD's lucky if they get one or two of them in a year.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Okay. No, I was just going to say if they trim the lugs on the Pepsi and the Batgirl, wow. I can imagine what's going to happen.
I can say for a fact, I do own a Batgirl, that I wear that as a dress watch mostly. to be honest with you guys, because it looks so good with the suit. So
Yeah.
I
Right,
definitely
yeah.
lean towards more dress oriented with that watch.
Yeah, it's a very smart looking watch, isn't it? With the very conservative colours, the blue and the black, and
Oh, I love it.
not a bright watch at all, is it? It's
No, you can wear it with anything.
Neo, what's up, man?
how are you doing, Neo? Well, good to see you.
I hope you can join. I hope
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
he-
the odd one here that I
No,
I
I
can
think he's
remove
hoping to
myself.
join soon. No, we can get more on. He's
Okay.
looking to join soon.
Oh, I can bump out, guys, if you need to make
No
it.
worries.
No, you're fine, Chris. You're
Yeah.
fine.
You're fine. Don't worry, guys.
I was going to raise one more point. Can you imagine the riots that would be coming if they decide to bump up the Daytona to 41?
Oh wow. Yeah.
That's
I
going to
hope
happen.
not. I hope
That would be
not.
hilarious.
Oh man.
Yeah, I honestly think that, the GMT and the Daytona are going to stay where they are, and the Explorer is going to stay where it is.
Yeah, because I mean, presence for a dive watch is quite important. When you want to use it for its purpose,
Right.
in its real life purpose.
Right, which nobody is doing that nowadays. But
Yeah.
but your point is very well taken. It is for a dive watch is supposed to be big.
That's amazing. I'm doing a write up on the Ploprof at the moment, and that watch
I
is
love that watch.
It's
Love
like
it.
it's like 55
Yes,
mils, right?
amazing.
Yep.
And you see that watch over a wetsuit, and you just say, "Yes, that is exactly where it needs to be," because it just does everything. It's so legible.
The original Comex watch, isn't it?
Yeah. And it just fits that. And you compare it next to the Sea Dwellers of the time, the 1665. There's just no comparison. This Ploprof, with its size and presence, made it just so much more usable for its environment, its situation. I mean, that all factors in, I guess. I don't know. The dive watch zone in Rolex, it's 41 mils. Saying that the Submariner is 41 mils, I think a lot of people, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Well, how long has it been at 40 for?
Like 60 years. 60
Yeah, I was going to
years.
say 60 years.
Yeah, the entire lifespan of my folks, my parents. It's pretty insane to think.
Yeah.
So real quick, guys. Now the new Bluesy, is that a new dial? The
Yes,
Royal.
sir.
It is, right?
It is. Okay.
Yeah. All right. That's what I thought, but just making sure.
Yeah,
That
and they got
royal
rid
blue.
of the gold text on the dial,
Right,
which
right.
kind of makes me twitch a little bit. But we're not going to go that way.
Well, I mean, Blue Shirt still loves it, don't you? I mean,
do.
He's
I
in love
do,
with that
and-
watch.
I am. I don't mind the not having the gold text anymore. It doesn't bother me. I love that blue, and I put myself down on the list for it. So
Nice.
Good for you. Good for you.
What isn't it amazing to think that watch? I mean, it's been around since the 80s,
Forever.
and it's
Yeah.
still here. I mean, that's
Yep.
incredible. Of all the color choices, I mean, a rose gold Submariner to introduce this new line, something else, two-tone rose gold that might jump into the GMT territory with the root beer, but they decided to keep the bluesy two-tone still, and it remains. It's quite
Yep.
incredible to see. I mean, of all the watches, when it comes to long-lasting, this watch, which doesn't make sense, it's just beautiful. But
it
it's a
doesn't
dive
go
watch.
out of style.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Neo saying that the new sub design is the best design ever.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, I like the old bluesy, but this one is just,
The dial, what they've done with the dial now is pretty incredible.
yeah.
It's quite vibrant.
So you this is a darker shade of blue.
It's lighter. I think they actually bumped it up a couple of shades. Yeah.
Did they? Okay.
Mm. Yeah, the bezel is the same color, I think. It's quite dark. A Watch Advisor did a good run through of all the wrist shots of him wearing it. And it does look a little bit brighter than the originals, and even more brighter than the 5-digit references. Those were really dark.
I thought it looked a little lighter as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Just the dial.
You'll have to see it in person, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you might be pulling the trigger when you see it in person, Blue Shirt.
Yeah. Well,
Might be trading in those two Explorers of yours.
I'm not holding my breath waiting for that phone call. So
Oh, geez, the waiting lists are going to be.
Well, Blue Shirt, you're in a tough market like me. New York, Chicago, we're in a tough one over for us.
we are
Yep.
indeed.
A lot of guys with a lot of money.
Yeah. So if this does happen, then I'm gonna I will jump on it, but then my Explorer 2 and my Explorer are gonna have to go. So
that'll be sad.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? I mean, think about those two. What they offer in a collection: no date, smaller size, black dial. Date,
I know.
GMT complication, white dial.
Yep.
They're both just so practical. They're just so good.
They are.
You shouldn't break them up. It's like a marriage you're breaking up there, man.
I know.
Yeah.
But again,
Be sad.
I'm so low on the pecking order. Again, I'm not. I doubt I'm ever going to get that phone call, but we'll see.
You never know your luck in the big city, as they say.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Neo.
Hi, Neo. You well?
What's up, pal?
Hey, Neo.
Welcome, Neo.
Hey guys, can you hear
How's
me?
it going, man?
How
Yeah,
you
we
doing?
hear you fine.
Sorry for being late, but I was actually working.
No one's perfect, as I say.
Right on.
Yeah. So
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again, my friend.
And another James Arthur.
James is on.
hi, James.
Hello.
You well?
Hello,
How
guys.
you
How you
feeling?
doing?
Hello, James.
Hello,
Good to see you.
It's been a long time, you guys. You guys haven't been around for a while.
Yeah.
Full month.
Zippo's been moving house and it's been a bit busy. So finally got moved now and got a new place and it's great to be back
How's
on.
new house? How's new house, Zippo?
Oh, it's great. It's mostly great. A little echoey down here, but I mostly done the decorating and all that. So,
How many boxes are you hiding behind you there?
we got a whole room full of packed up crates still. So,
And he's sitting on them at the moment, too.
yeah,
Of course.
everything's
Isn't
back
that
here,
cool?
piled to the ceiling.
Uh,
How are you
geez.
feeling?
Yes, mate. I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing all right. Steroids, mate. They work a wonder. They work wonderfully.
Everybody should try them.
Yes, mate. All the time.
I just got some on Tuesday. They are wonderful.
Yeah, they are very wonderful. The miracle drug. I'm not sure that ID guy would agree with me, though.
No, they're good. They do a good job. We don't get into the deep medical side of things, but they definitely serve their purpose pretty damn well.
I'm not sure if they're a good long-term drug, though.
No, for a week
No.
or two, week and a half, maybe, at a push.
I've been told 5 days only, so
Yeah, that sounds pretty decent.
so this is like day three.
Three.
So 2 more days.
You're going to be right as rain, I can tell you.
I'm going well. I'm high as a kite.
Perfect. And Carlos,
I can't. I haven't been as active as this in my mind in months, so I'm fine.
That's a bonus, eh? And the fact that you're off your feet and you're able to just kick back, I mean, that's a bonus too, right?
Yeah, I mean, my mind's so active. I don't know what to do with myself.
Well, at least you're awake and you can join us. That's great.
Yeah.
I've been listening in.
No, it's
That's
fantastic.
good.
It's so, and I can also just say thank you so much.
You
James,
guys
keep going.
become fanboys.
Totally. We all are. I mean, I am a true fanboy of this page because it's just not... I hate the mainstream stuff, guys. Honestly. I don't like the idea of having 300 people watching a show. This is so cool because it's intimate. There's no needing to, like, focus on comments. There's no needing to, like, perform in any way to actually, get a point across.
This is the best live stream show available on YouTube.
No, it's just really good. It's just
Friends,
fantastic.
friends talking watches.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all it
Couldn't have
is.
said it better myself, Blue Shirt.
And that's all that matters in the end. That's
Yep.
what we're here for.
oh,
Oh, it dropped off.
James hit the red button, I think.
Oh dear. So Zippo, I was just gonna move on quickly from the Rolex chat.
The
that we've been
Rolex
chatting
sideshow.
about.
No.
Yeah.
You want to talk about something other than Rolex? What's wrong with you,
Are
Thomas?
you mad? This is where the views come from, Thomas. You got to know this.
Clickbait.
First step into the game.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
I put a few links in the private chat, and The first one was the
Glycine. I was wondering what these were. This is awesome.
the first one was the just a couple of watches I've been looking at recently. The first one was the a release from June, which was the Junghans Max Bills Mega Solar.
Mega solar.
Some of us are aware of watches that are made by Citizen and Seiko that synchronize with GPS time signals. Junghans was actually a pioneer in radio-controlled timepieces, unveiling their first radio-controlled clock in 1985, and the first wristwatch 5 years later. The movement in this watch also has an intelligent time correction function that analyzes the second hand's position 1,440 times a day, and once a day for the hour and minute hands, comparing against the reference time from the radio signal. The date is verified once a month. And Max Bill was a Swiss architect and designer with a very simple Bauhaus-inspired style. He designed a series of clocks for the Junghans in the late 50s, followed by wristwatches in 1961. And the Max Bill watches today are essentially identical to the originals of the 60s. Apparently, the watch will run for up to 3 years on a full charge. And it also has a quick charge function, allowing it to go from dead flat to proper running time after 8 minutes of exposure to light. The time can be instantly set via the crown or using an iPhone or Android phone, Junghans Mega app. So this is a 38mm, 30-meter water resistant. It's got a titanium case, up to 3 hours power reserve, as I stated. It's available for €895 on the strap or $975 on the bracelet. It's got plexiglass and it's running the J101.85 movement, and it's radio controlled, as I said. It's quite an interesting one.
We've considered this like a smartwatch in this space, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Very interesting.
And the Junghans design, I mean, it's so plain. Bauhaus, I mean, I'd like to hear your thoughts, everyone's thoughts on the Bauhaus motif on these watches. What do you think? Is it a yay or a nay?
I like the plain, simple, classic design. Yeah, it's classic. It's a smart dress watch style, definitely.
I
I
can
like the Bauhaus as well, but I wouldn't wear it.
Yeah,
right.
Same
I'm
as me,
with you,
James.
I can respect it, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, glad it exists, but I wouldn't buy one.
I'll need some of those contact lenses we spoke about, Bruce.
Yeah, they're not the easiest to read.
Whenever
Especially
people say
the
like
eyes get older.
Bauhaus design, I'm always tempted to pull out my book of Bauhaus posters, and the watches never look like the stuff I really like in print form, or even in the furniture, or even in the buildings. Like, there seems to be a disconnect between what Bauhaus did
It's true.
in other places
Agreed.
with watches.
Very good point. You have to ask. The question I normally say is, we got so many beautiful designs from so many well-known Swiss manufacturers nowadays, right? And disregard the designers like the Gentas and the Max Bills, for example. Think of all the innovative designs of watches, like the Speedmasters, the Submariners, etc., etc. You got to ask: is it really necessary to have a name attached to a specific design and call it holier than thou? And it's almost like that's where I kind of look at it as far as a designer attacking a design. Is it necessary to pair it up with that history as well? And speaking about Bauhaus as well, Bauhaus was also a time when people went a little bit ballistic with their ideas. It wasn't all so constrained and precise. They did all kinds of ridiculous things with their thought processes back in the day, in the 30s. They didn't know what they were doing, but that's the fun of it.
Yeah, very experimental.
Yeah, be more adventurous. It doesn't have to be down the middle, like you would expect from German designs.
I think the only Bauhaus I have in my collection is the iPods.
Yeah, Newson made some really good ones.
Yeah, and I think they're very, very. I really like them, and I like their curvatures and that. But I mean, once again, I'm not out there wearing them on an active basis, but I think they're very interesting.
They look cool.
They look very cool.
Yeah.
No one almost gets a lot of heat, but I do think the Zurich is actually a pretty good execution of a watch.
Yeah, it's true. They do have some great stuff. And there was one example. I'm trying to remember it. I'll see if I can find it quickly. Can't remember. It was an Orion, and it was, yeah. We definitely don't have to go down that route as well. But I mean, they do have some nice thoughts gone into various
Yeah, I
pieces
like
of the
the
past.
Orion. It's quite a nice watch. That.
Let me see if I
I
can
know
find
what
the
you're
reference.
referring to.
There's one really. It's called the Orion Distill. Okay. Phone call.
I know. I gotta.
Put us on mute. It was called the Nomos Orion Distill, and it's this limited edition piece. And the way they did the dial there, oh my, it really looks. It pushes this simplistic idea further ahead.
Well, we can move on from Bauhaus if we're not all fans of that. We can go on to the next link. And this is a company called Var Watches, founded in Venice in 2016 by Ryan Torres and Regan Cook, with the goal of building an affordable everyday wristwatch that blended tasteful design and extreme durability and functionality. Despite starting their business in an era dominated by fast fashion and luxury status, they felt confident that there was still a place for simple, well-built analog watches. Early prototypes were exposed to a wide range of trials, including surf and free diving, boiling water submersion, drop tests, and even high-altitude exposure in the Himalayas. And they say that a commitment to creating functional waterproof wristwatch at a sub-$150 starting price point proved challenging. Even though prototypes with traditional pull crowns were rated at 10 atmospheres or static pressure, real-world testing resulted in consistent flooding. So to solve that problem, they decided to use the locking screw-down crown to ensure an airtight seal. After the company officially opened sales in 2017 and survived the first year in business, they decided to move their watch assembly operation to the United States. So while that represented an increase in costs and presented major logistical challenges, since the US watch manufacturing network was non-existent, they felt that as a young independently owned company, it was a challenge worth taking. And in the spring of 2018, they successfully released their first batch of American assembled watches, providing customers with, they say, the most affordable USA assembled watch on the market.
Not bad.
These guys are excellent. I know these guys, and they have really done a great job at bringing out their watches, and they're fantastic watches. There's a couple of surfer guys, and these guys have done a great job.
Yeah,
nice inspirations.
This is the Arctic USA Diver. It's a limited pre-order for this upcoming model, which will ship in October. And the first 100 watches, they say, will be serialized. It's a 39mm, 11mm thick, 200-meter water resistant, 40-hour power. That runs the Miyota 9039 automatic movement. It's got an exhibition case back, and it's a quick-release rubber tropic strap or NATO, and second quick-release or single-pass strap.
Looks
It's
very
quite
good.
nice. It's got. I like the Milsub-looking hands on it. To be honest with you, I really like that sort of Milsub.
Notice the dial. Notice the dial has batons at the 5, the 15, the 25. So it's almost like it's very 50s in that way. It's cool. And the Lyre lugs, like a Speedmaster professional watch. So they've taken the mil spec, the MOD Seamaster, and the mil sub, and cross-pollinated them in a way, and made this. I like the exposed crown too.
They must have watched one of your videos. I think.
Maybe. I think they thought, well,
someone must have sent them that direction. So you got to watch this video about the Marine Master.
It happens. You get some amazing emails that come in. I'll tell you that much.
Watches and giggles. Take it easy, man.
Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Yeah, take care, Chris.
That was so cool.
Chris.
So nice chatting to you guys. I can say it's first time I've ever been on a live show, and it's so nice to just sit in the wings and just chat and chill and not speak at 500 words a minute.
I don't know how you do it for hour upon hour upon hour. It's amazing.
4-hour marathon.
Stimulants. Yeah. Tell you stimulants, as James would probably agree. Stimulants.
Coffee and whiskey.
Coffee, whiskey. some really good bourbon that I've now picked up. That
It
is
gets worse. He corks himself with the steroids when he's in his leg.
anabolics. And yeah, it's weird. And then Fisherman's Friend, simply the best. The show is sponsored by Fisherman's
That's
Friend.
code for something else.
That is, yeah. It's got a bit of cocaine, and we wouldn't mention that.
Cherry flavored.
Yeah, but it definitely, you feel really hungover the next day. I can tell you, Sunday it's a write-off. But it's good. I mean, I love it. I think it's so much fun.
That's when he loses count of how many lines he's had.
Oh, dear.
It's true. And then it's a day of detox and flushing. You know, it's IV, the whole deal.
He calls around as the nurses with the IV drip.
No, I just administer it myself. Got a bit of practice in the medical background.
Why
so
would
it's
you
good.
do that when you can call the H2O nurses in?
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, I really like this watch. I thought it was a great value proposition.
Absolutely.
It's quite nice looking. As I say, it's got the mill-sub look to the hands, and
you have to ask the question: do you think the dial, the batons and the plots, are they a little bit too small for the dial?
Yeah.
Imagine look at the size of the hands. The hands look pretty well proportioned, and you think
They do.
just
that's a
0.5.
Good point, ID guy. Yeah.
Just bump the size up a little bit more to make it pop a bit better.
Just to make it pop out.
Yeah, and fill up that space. I mean, negative space. No one loves an open dial. Let's fill up that space as much as possible.
Yeah,
Size
that's
matters.
It's not a done deal yet. It's still in pre-production.
Good point. Hi, Showcase. You well?
Showcase.
Hey guys, how are you all doing?
James, how are you?
Yeah,
Welcome,
Yeah,
Showcase.
good, James. Hi guys.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, whatever
So-
happened to that American company that made Rolex-inspired watches that supposedly used to make
Janot.
Janot?
Janot.
Are they still around?
I think
They
they are.
certainly are.
That's how I started my channel, believe it or not. That was the first watch that I ever had on the channel years and years and years
Really?
ago. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember
And-
that video.
Yeah, the very first. Please don't look at it. It's pathetic. But that was the first, and they're doing pretty well. But hearing that news that broke out and all the details there, it's pretty crazy. I was actually asked to review the second edition. I said sure, send it through, and then never heard from them again. That was as far as it went. But who knows?
They've just, they've
I
just
don't
released
care
a whole
about any
bunch
of
of new
that.
divers.
I was gonna say I don't care about any of that news. All the reports came out said that this was like a solid watch.
They're really well made. It's like it's ridiculous.
They are.
I have
Well
one.
made.
I have one kicking around. I wear it on a NATO strap. I run with it. I've been doing that for like 3 years. The thing still hasn't lost time in 3 years.
Wow.
You got it. That's the Parnas days. Shaitan says, yeah, those are the days.
Honest days. They were the days, weren't they?
I got an email a couple of days ago. They've released a whole new diver range. They look fantastic.
Yeah, I must say they are well built. No matter what the allegations are, can't deny that.
The
Yeah.
Shinoa Gate affair.
Another watch I had on the list next was the Perrin Watches Hinds model. Which was
Where do
the
you
next
find
big-
these, Thomas? They're amazing. Where do you find these? Do you just browse the internet and say, "Hey, dive watch microbrand"?
Thomas is he is the research master.
He
I
is.
tell you.
And he's up until like 3 a.m. It's incredible.
It's 3 in the morning. He's up until 5, 6 in the morning.
It was 6 in the morning last night. Yeah.
You're worse than me, Thomas. I can tell you.
Yeah,
That's bad.
the Perrin Hinds is the third release from Andy
Ooh.
Pinker, staying true to the Transylvanian inspiration and heritage of Perrin. The Hinds is a tribute to the work of Eugen Hinds, one of the most respected and successful watchmakers in 1900s Transylvania. In the words of Perrin, the Hinds is a Swiss-made mechanical timepiece inspired by the pocket watch received from a Swiss manufacturer by one of the first Transylvanian watchmakers, Eugen Hinds, who lived from 1869 to 1962. Because the watch is a homage brought to Transylvania's most important watchmakers, a rotating disc inspired by the andesite sun found next to one of the most precise ancient calendars located in Transylvania is positioned at a 6-hour watch subdial. The integration of the solar disk into the watch is meant to emphasize the continuity of the perennial philosophy from ancient Transylvania to the present time. The
Holy
disk is the
smokes.
exact representation of the andesite sun from the Transylvania-based. Now, let me pronounce this right. Sarnezeguttuza Regiosite.
Good call. That was-
Meters to millimeters. So it's a 42.5 millimeters. It's 11.2 thick, 50 hours power reserve, display case back, aluminium rotating disc at 6 o'clock. There's only 300 pieces of this. It's got brass hands, and there's a choice of ETA Unitus 6498-1 with either a choice of standard or elaborate finish, which is finished off a bit more, at two different prices of 596 Swiss francs or 888 Swiss francs, and these are due to be delivered in October of this year.
That is a great looking watch.
It's lovely.
It's got a
isn't it?
feel. It's got a field watch look to it as well,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
It's got a Fortis Omega sort of vibe. You know, the
Yeah.
military,
My
civilian and
daughter
military
loves
spec.
this watch.
Can we see the back of it?
Sure thing.
Kind of reminds me of Moser, the way they've done the lugs, and the crown actually. Yeah, that's cool.
It's a beautiful looking piece.
And it's tasteful. You know, it doesn't need to be oversized. It doesn't need to have flashy details. The dial is just clean, just numerals. That's all you want. I guess it does appeal to a certain segment of the market. It's not something that everyone would get behind, but it's just plain and simple. I
It's
wish
a
more people
classic.
more people picked up these instead of the Daniel Wellingtons out there.
Yeah.
I think we would have. I think we'd have a
Yeah.
lot more diehard watch people in this space.
Look at that. It's all movement. People are saying that it's too big, but this is a big movement, right? It's
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not no space in there, is there?
With a 50-hour power reserve, probably even more than that. It's probably like 52. It's decent.
It's fully maxed out the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the pocket watch heritage that Thomas spoke about, it fits into that ballpark pretty well. Then,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I dig it. Really nice.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really cool.
Can we see the difference between the standard and the elaborate? Oh, click on movement there for a
There we
second.
go. There we go.
Yeah, so one's finished off a bit more than the other, basically. So,
Got to go with the Elibor. How would we say it? Is that a better way of saying it?
Elaborate.
Okay.
That just costs $300.
Yeah, it's
It's
another.
like $600, I think.
Excellent find, Thomas. Excellent
Yeah,
find.
very nice. A nice name too. I mean, all of it. Really dig it. The branding, the typeface. Very good job.
Yeah, it's a nice one. This one, I liked it. It's a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But the
this is the
website-
reason you get no sleep, Thomas.
That's exactly it, James. That's exactly it.
And this is why you're eating your meals at midnight.
True.
That's dedication, Thomas. I can tell you. I mean, you're better than me.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'll sit for 3 hours, maybe 3 hours at a time, and then I've got to go do something. I can't not stay fixated for 6 hours straight. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Hella impressive.
I like this a lot. The only thing I'm not so crazy about is the wheel on the bottom for the small seconds.
Yeah, the
I would
little-
have preferred just a regular, you know.
They do one
They
with,
do
a,
have one.
they do one with a small seconds as well.
See right there?
instead.
The Hints X has a small seconds.
It's a
interesting.
rotating disc.
Where was it? Man?
Looks like a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. Or like a watermill.
And I can't figure out how the hell to find it.
It's the thing. Websites tell you. It's actually
Oh, there
it's
it
impressive.
is.
Flippin', I can tell you. Being
Oh,
able to
there we
navigate the
go.
website, that looks pretty decent.
That's much
Yeah.
that to me, to my eyes, that looks much better.
Yeah.
The strap even looks like a nice quality as well.
Yeah,
Looks like a nice quality
Yeah,
strap.
it does.
Suede.
It looks nice.
Suede texture, nice and
Mm.
decent.
I like that they've done the black stitching as well, because I think that it must have been a temptation to put a cream or a white stitching on there, but I think the black stitching works perfect.
It takes puts the attention back on the dial, takes the attention away.
Yep.
Just don't be fooled by genuine leather, though. It's not the best. It's functional, but it's not the best.
Quite a wide lug width as well, in 22 millimeters. Yeah, quite wide on a 42 millimeter case.
Well, yeah, I mean, most 42 millimeter watches have 22 millimeter wide lugs.
And tapers down to 20 usually.
I've been blown away by watches that have these large sizes, but then have lug widths of 20 or maybe even 19.
Yeah,
and it's amazing how much smaller the watch feels. The presence is there, but the actual fit and the wearability of it is improved a little bit in my opinion. But it also looks visually quite nice when the lugs have this like steep taper to them. Does that mean we have to move on to the next piece?
Well, we'll take that as a cue to move on to the next piece. Then.
I did some kitchen renovation this weekend and just got some pictures of the finished product.
Nice.
Very nice.
So the next... Oh.
Bro.
Yeah, so the next piece, I thought we have a theme of Pilot's GMTs this week. And the first one, we'll go back to Rolex and their famous Am Gmt, which is the 6542. The original Pan Am Airlines GMT. So originally...
The pushy.
Originally, Pan American Airlines hired Rolex. If you just want to scroll down a bit further, there's some better pictures here, Zippo. There we go. So originally, Pan American Airlines hired Rolex to create a watch for its pilots as a tool to track multiple time zones in long-haul flights. In the 50s, Rolex and Pan Am developed the first Rolex GMT fashioned from a Rolex chronograph and a custom movement that Rolex developed for the Pan Am and its pilots. This was the caliber 1036 that evolved into the 1065 and then the 1066. This true aviator's watch was originally the 6542 reference, which now sells second-hand for £30,000. The 24-hour hand keeps time in a military format using a rotating bezel as hour markers. The original bezel was Bakelite and was luminescent. It allowed the pilot to keep track of 3 time zones, setting the GMT hand to Greenwich Mean Time and using the rotating bezel to track a 3rd time zone, readable in low light. In 1954, Rolex came out with a model of the GMT Master that could be purchased by the general public. This watch was an instant success with the ability to display more than 1 time zone and was almost revolutionary due to the complexity of the movement itself. Additionally, the watch grew in popularity due to the James Bond film Goldfinger, in which the character Pussy Galore, who was a pilot in the film, wore GMT Master.
I must be dreaming.
So the 1675 was released in 1959. If you want to go to the next link, Zippo, it shows a bit more about the other references that followed.
The next link, sorry?
Yeah, the next link.
Okay.
It's a Bob's Watches link. Just tells you a bit more about the ones that followed.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these in person.
No,
6542.
The ghost in the machine now. They're so rare. The 6542, yeah.
Yeah. And the white dial model on top of that is even worse. The real Pan Am version.
the real Pan Am version. But these were the ones that followed.
You get $100 off though.
These ones followed. The 1675 was released in 1959 until 1980. Then the 16750 was released in 81 till 88. Then came the 16710 GMT Master 2. Came out in 1989 till 2007. And then it took until 2014 when the Pepsi made a return in the form of the GMT Master 2 116719 BLRO, featuring a maxi dial, ceramic bezel, and super case with the caliber 3186 in with the Parachrome hairspring. Also, the triplock crown system for added robustness. So there's a brief history of the Pan Am Pepsi that we know it as.
We know and love.
Yeah. It's a timeless
So do the grey
classic.
market dealers.
It's
The
actually
grey
one of my,
market- they love it. Yeah, yeah.
it's actually one of my favorite watches of all time. The one I own is
1675, haven't you, showcase?
no 16750.
Ah, right.
So mine's a 1988 on a Jubilee.
Oh, you've got the
Beautiful.
Jubilee,
Oh.
James.
Say again, sorry.
You've got the Jubilee.
Yeah, I've got it on Jubilee. Yeah, I'll absolutely love it.
That's
It's the most
there.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's the most comfortable watch I've ever worn.
What's amazing? I've got a cool story. Met a pilot named Curtis, and he was just returning back to America. He's just finished. He's just retired, and his one watch that he got in the 80s was a 16750, and he wore that watch for about 23 years straight. Didn't service it, nothing. It was his one watch that he flew all over the world with. He served in the military with, and it's amazing hearing those stories. And a buddy of his had the same watch. He serviced it after 23 years, but a buddy has been wearing the same watch for over 40 years, never serviced.
Wow.
The watch still runs perfectly.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
unreal.
I can believe that.
That's-
That's how they're made.
Yeah,
That's saying something.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all you Rolex haters out there.
40 years plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, I mean, I wear mine. I have a rule with my watches that if I can't wear them for a full 24 hours straight, that includes sleeping, shower, swimming, work, whatever. If I can't wear a watch for 24 hours straight, it shouldn't be in my collection. That's why I don't have dress watches. I have tool watches. I have steel sports, and that's one of the. Whenever I'm choosing a watch, I ask myself that question: can I wear this watch 24 hours straight? And the answer to all of mine is yes. So this particular watch, the 16750, I mean, I've done everything in that watch, and I'm not, I'm not frightened of it just because it's a bit older. I'm not frightened of using it because I know it's had a reason.
Make any difference.
No, I mean it's had a recent service, so I know that the only thing that would ever concern me would be the seals.
Right. You have those checked every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
As long
that's
as
what
you do that,
Rolex
you're fine.
services for.
Yeah.
So James, do you really wear that Jonathan's Rec Mini 24 hours in the shower and everything?
Do I wear which one? Sorry.
The Mini from Jonathan at Rec.
Oh no. That one was a purchase for my wife, so no, that'll be my.
We know you like your Mini Coopers.
That'll be my only watch which I don't wear 24 because that one and my Omega Speedmaster. Obviously, I don't wear that in the shower, but I forgive the Speedmaster for that because I just love the Speedmaster.
I don't wear my watches in the shower, to be honest with you. I've become in the habit of taking them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Don't quote me on it.
I used to in my younger days, but I don't anymore.
No.
What were you saying, Neo?
I was gonna say don't quote me on it, but I've heard a few times that Omega will say that despite what the rating on that Speedmaster is, that you can actually
Can't swim with it. Yeah.
Right.
No, I've heard from a few people. They've actually worn them in the pool. No problem.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't want to try the chronograph in the water, though. You've got to
Right.
be out of
That's
freaking mind.
I was just gonna say, just don't you
Not unless it's
don't
got
even
a
think
screw
about
down
pushing
pushers.
that chronograph.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't
so-
go so well.
So from one true pilot's Pan Am GMT to another Rolex I thought we'd go to, which they call the Sky Dweller.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. I'm not
What's
sure
going
whether
on,
they-
boys?
I'm not sure
You
whether-
boys turning into Rolex fanboys today.
I'm not
Sounds
sure-
like it, huh?
I'm not sure whether the Sky Dweller is actually a true pilot's watch, though. A pilot's
Ooh.
GMT.
I've
Now we
seen
can
the
debate.
pictures of it.
More
I'm
of a-
going to crack my knuckles and get ready
more,
to debate.
More of a businessman's GMT watch, this, I think. It
Yeah.
features an annual calendar called the Soros and a dual time zone display, making it the ideal watch for world travelers, so Rolex say. The Soros annual calendar
That's true.
automatically differentiates between 30-day and 31-day months and requires only one day adjustment a year, with the month changes from February to March, allowing for 28 or 29 days. The fluted bidirectional rotatable bezel is much more than an aesthetic feature, and it allows the wearer to select functions to be set. There can be date, month, local time, or reference time by simply turning the bezel. It's 42mm, 100 meters water resistance, 72-hour power reserve using the caliber 9001 Oyster clasp with a 5mm easy link parachrome hairspring. Blah blah blah. We know all about it. So, yeah. I mean, what are people's views on the Sky Dweller?
Rolex's most complicated watch.
Yeah.
It's the
I've
only
got a
Rolex
theory.
I don't own in my collection.
Wow. I've got a theory about this piece. I don't know if it's popular opinion, but I believe this to be the watch that was, if we move ourselves back to the 50s, the golden age of flying, it was beautiful. What were the popular watches then? Forget about the Turnographs and the Submariners and the GMTs. You had the Datejusts, you had the Presidents, right? Mm-hmm. And you think, well, for its application, wouldn't this be the ideal watch for that time in the 50s for the jet setter?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is what I believe they got their inspiration from. So the GMT, in a way, though it's such a functionally brilliant watch, it almost feels like a cop-out as something that was just because the Submariner was just brought out as such a practical idea of just putting a new bezel insert in, putting that complication in, which was fantastic. It was so practical for its purpose. But this, I feel like if they had the technology back then, this would have been the traveler's watch of its era.
Absolutely.
Looking at those inspirations from the 50s.
I could never wear one on my wrist.
This is too much.
I just can't stand it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone, for sure. It's not a watch that I would wear either. I mean, it's too much for me.
And I love it aesthetically, but it's, from my old eyes, it's hard to read.
And
there's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
You see, I'm the complete opposite. You see, I just find it a really ugly looking watch. I don't see any beauty in it. I don't see any.
I'm with you, James.
I appreciate the technology. I appreciate the mechanics behind it.
Yeah.
The complication. I appreciate that. It's an ugly watch.
Yeah.
All my
As
girls
ugly
have got one, but I haven't.
As ugly as the Yachtmaster 2?
Oh,
Nothing wrong with the Yachtmaster 2.
Yeah, I don't think neither would ever grace my collection. I don't think.
I think that's our cue to move on then.
Wait.
So we'll go to the next link then, Zippo. We'll go from Rolex to Breitling.
there she blows.
Wait.
Get that.
I think everybody would have loved the Breitling at some point in their life.
So we got another GMT, which is a true pilot's GMT. The Breitling Avenger automatic GMT 45 night mission. This one. It's a 45mm. It costs 3,820 pounds. This one. It's 12.3mm thick, 300 meters water resistance. It's got a gambered glare-proof sapphire glass, 42-hour power reserve, and the Breitling 32 self-winding movement, which is with the second time zone. So DLC-coated titanium case. It's a larger size so that it can be worn over gloves. It's got a sand-coloured military leather strap. The crown, with its special grip pattern, can also be easily operated using gloves. The Arabic numerals recall stenciled numbers that are used on the decks of aircraft carriers, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I quite like this one. I love the coloured numerals.
Great watch.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what everyone else's
something
opinions
similar
are.
for Christmas last year.
I like it. I like it.
I didn't get this model, but I got an Avenger for Christmas, and it was the green, but it was the one that the female wears who flies planes for Breitling, the senior commander or whatever, senior chief or whatever she is. But this is a fantastic watch, and it's really well priced. Big bang for your buck.
Yeah,
I'm
kind of liking this watch too.
Unbelievable bang, and of course that's the retail, and you'll get 30% off from entering the boutique just by asking for it.
Good to know.
And it comes in 2 sizes, but yeah, this is just a brilliant watch. I got mine in green.
Hey, ID guy. See the 15, 30, 45 at 369, that little notch? Is there like a special name for that?
Whereabouts is that, Neo?
Well, like on the bezel where that says 15, 30, and 45, it kind of sticks out a little bit. I've
Oh,
seen
right, yeah, the
25
quarters.
watches. Is there a special name for that motif?
I don't know. Do you know, ID guy?
Oh, is he still here?
Yeah,
Just
maybe-
just timed that perfectly. I'm here. I just went to refill my water. It got a bit low.
No worries.
Talking about the Avenger. Sorry, guys. Been away from the screen for a sec.
Yeah, Neo was just asking you, is there a name for the quarters on the bezel where it says 15?
Yeah,
the
I
bits
have
are stuck
no
out,
idea.
there's
But I find them
30,
fascinating.
45.
Station markers, maybe.
I have absolutely no, but it's the Avenger. I mean, we saw one on Wrist Shot Week a couple of weeks back, and this guy who sent it in, it was his first watch. He saved a lot of money for it, and he picked it up, and he can't stop wearing it. It's stunning. It is such a cool
It's a
looking watch.
beautiful
Actually.
watch. It really is.
It's mainly all brushed. I mean, it's so practical. But the bezel, I don't know. What's amazing is that it's all linked to Breitling. You know, they've kept that aesthetic all the way through, and I think it does look very unique to the brand, and also easy to grab and use. I mean, because they're proud of the bezel itself. No idea what they're called though. I've never, as far as Breitlings go, definitely not someone to ask. I haven't looked into that yet.
I wore mine and my sub no date nearly every day every winter. It was just superb watch.
It really is cool. And this is the piece we're looking at. The PVD is PVD coated.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's PVD quoted with a
DLC
the green
coated,
strap.
say, yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually not a huge fan of that, but on certain watches I like it, and on this watch I particularly like it.
Yeah,
Breitling can pull off the military look very, very well.
Yeah.
Of all the brands that you know, when they go at it to sort of pull off a military or a you know, like a aviation piece, Breitling, you know, the second to none, they are fantastic.
Yeah.
The price, though, I mean, you consider the price of these watches that Breitling are putting out compared to, say, Rolex, for example.
There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
Yeah,
It's like,
and we're
it's,
talking you can get a discount. I mean, you can get 30%. I mean, even the Super Ocean 44, which is just like probably like a sub in a lot of ways, is a superb watch, and you can get them for $2,000, and they are just built to perfection.
What a fantastic dial too.
Orange Hand says that those markers pop out so you can have a count up or count down bezel. You can move them around.
Ah, possibly, yeah. That could be a good answer.
That's interesting. Yeah, it is really. I think it's a very good. When we talk about value proposition in this zone, this is one that should be considered by a lot more people. I reckon deserves a video. I think it needs to be investigated a bit more.
We've got more value propositions coming up.
And the customer service from Breitling, from the minute you walk into their boutique, to how they treat you compared to walking into a Rolex boutique.
There's no comparison again.
Walking out with a bag, your warranty card, a beautiful box, presentation box, a leather travel case, wooden box. I mean, the whole experience, and you can actually walk out on the day with your watch sized up. I mean, it's just,
and don't forget about the paraphernalia. You get caps, you get books, you get brochures, you get all of that with it too. Whatever you want.
And then the follow-up phone call and the card in the mail from your salesperson thanking you for your business. I mean, it's just people who get over complacent in selling you something should take a leaf out of their book.
Yeah. And this being the 57, the 57 inspired, I find that pretty cool. I think this was in the reissue video that I did. It's something. It came out of nowhere. No one even expected it. But
that's George Kern for you. He's really turning Breitling around.
Yeah. Also interesting about the whole packaging scenario where they're reducing that for the sake of the environment and all the rest. I don't know if that's just to cut costs or if they're just using that as a ploy.
That's what it sounded like to me, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if
and they're going with new ambassadors as well, and they're really going. If you look at the new website design, they're going for complete unisex theme, not to alienate anybody.
If you skip the next Breitling Zippo and go straight onto the watch shop link, we've got a glycine coming up.
These links are incredible. There's so many of them. It's amazing.
Yeah. Thomas is the man.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever been behind.
Sleeps.
Yeah, it's literally a vampire like all of us.
Having owned several glycine in my day, I can really attest to how well built, and I hate using the term bang per buck, but you do get a lot of value for your money with glycine.
I love this one. I thought this one was fascinating. The Glycine Airman 7 DLC. So
the Vegas watch.
Yeah, 53 millimeters.
Wow. Well,
are you sure it's not a fossil?
So it's
and it looks like you'd expect to see Louis Vuitton on the dial and that square print, right?
Well, it's 53 millimeters. It's 50 meters water resistance. It's 13 millimeters thick. Black iron
That's
plate.
my size watch.
It's a black carbon fiber dial. It's now discontinued on a leather strap, and it's 3 dials on one, featuring time with second time zone. On the right-hand dial, it's got a time with the second time zone GMT hand, and 2 other time zone dials featuring a first destination time and a second destination time, which could be used for pilots to time their flights to either first destination and second destination, or departure time and arrival time. So it's quite a fascinating watch, I thought.
Did they mention anything about prescription lenses that come with the watch in the package?
Hang on a second, you've forgotten it's 53 millimeters.
Out of all the glycines, that's probably one of the most bizarrest one. The traditional Airman is a fantastic watch.
Yeah, the glycines are really good.
And done a good job of scaling them up too. You can see the elements like the hands and everything, that all speaks to, and the dials. I mean, that speaks to what Glycine's about with their dials.
Does that say 4,300 euros?
4,400 if you round up,
4,400 euros, yeah.
Okay, that's a bit
a little bit steep.
That's a bit expensive for Glycine.
Yeah.
Well, the next one we can go even more expensive, James. We can if you want to go to the next watch.
Yeah,
even
but
more expensive.
now that it's Invicta, that price just means you have to go on a cruise to get it for $50.
You plan on winning get some chips on the cruise?
I really like this one. I just love the bizarre dial, but this one is even more expensive. $11,000, £11,000. This one. This is the Iwc Pilot Time Zone chronograph.
It's a beautiful watch.
45 millimeters, 16.5 thick, so 60 meters water resistant and 68 hours power reserve. It's got the caliber 89760 in-house caliber with a deployment buckle, rotatable bezel that you have to push down to move the world time function, indicating cities for 24 different time zones. Moves the hour hand accordingly. The red points on a GMT hand, which is adjusted via the crown. The chronograph records seconds, hours, and minutes, and hours. And is developed in 2014. This one. So it's
they did such a good job with this. I'm
they've
enamored.
actually developed a new version of this where they bought out the company that owned technology for the bezel.
I remember hearing that.
And I got the watch last year, and no one's actually taken to these yet, which I have no understanding why.
What?
Sometimes the world time is better than a GMT. And they bought out a company that owns technology, and you can get huge discounts on these. So I think I picked up mine for about $7 and a bit. Wow. But it's a brilliant watch because you just simply use the bezel to change the time zone, and everything changes with it.
Yeah, the hour hand moves with it. Yeah.
There's also another. These are called the time zoners, right? There's also another version that there's another version that doesn't have the chronograph. It's just standard, more like a time only, if I remember right.
Right.
Yeah, mine's a time only.
Looks good.
And it's just like that's the, they brought out the patent for the actual bezel technology. I forgot what the company was called, but it was a nothing company. But it's absolutely amazing technology. I mean, I commonly would use a Gerard Perregaux world timer or whatever, something like that. This watch is not this particular watch, but the new watch they just released last year. Amazing.
Just think about what it does. What it offers. I mean, look, you've got a full-on chronograph, world time complication in a pilot's watch. It's so interesting.
I mean, you're spending money for it though, £11,000. It's
a bit of a hard bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got mine for mine was about, I think it was about 14,000 US retail. I got it for about 7,500 off a great dealer called Roman Shaft.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal.
I like that guy.
So it was basically brand new in the box. And if nothing else, it's a great toy to play with because you just, rather than playing for your Apple iPhone about what time is in London right now, you can just play if you're watching and see what time it is in Mexico or whatever.
Yeah, I must say they've been very attentive to all those little details. I mean, that bezel alone. What would happen if a brand like Rolex had to bring out a bezel like that? People would lose their minds. They would go ballistic for it, right?
It's funny. It's the one product in Rolex's range that they have never delved into. With everything else they've got, they have never gone in. I mean, pretty much every watch company has gone down that path somewhere, and Rolex is huge in the GMT space. They've never gone into a world timer. I mean, even Patek's gone down that path. I mean, if Rolex had something like this, oh my God.
Everyone would just lose their minds.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I mean, they're so conservative in that vein. I mean, just the reissue chronograph video that I did, I don't know if it was this week or last week, but the 57 Speedmaster, say, the 57 Breitling we've just looked at. If a brand like Rolex had to bring out that watch, the world would stop. People would just lose their minds. But all these brands are doing it already.
I said this in a video that I did the other day about my 1957 Seamaster 300 reissue.
Yeah.
I said, just imagine a world where Rolex did a reissue of the 5513.
Yeah, 5508.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if Rolex did that, you know, this whole hype that's going on at the moment about the issue, you know, about the OPs and the Submariners, it'll just dwarf it. It would be absolute. Yeah. The world will stop in the world of horology.
Well, reissue watches would then be on the map. Then all of a sudden, people would go, "What have we been missing?" And then they're just Egypt.
I mean, if they reissued the 1655 for the 50th anniversary next year,
oh, that would be so awesome!
Oh my God,
that is my favorite watch.
They could charge what they want. We'd all be lining up for one. I mean, it's just like
absolutely.
You would be
if they did what Zenith did with the box and did three reinitiations of the Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
We would buy them. I mean, we'd be lining up for them. It would be like,
it would be Ed White levels of crazy, but times 10, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
I mean, we'd be killing over them.
Yeah.
If they actually went to the effort as well of including all the literature about the watch, and like they used to do, if they went to that level of detail and that level of attention, it would just go mad.
Right.
I would certainly buy one.
Yeah, so
we'd all be mortgaging our homes.
Yeah.
if we could get them, that is, James. I don't think we could. Nobody could get them. That would be the point. No, you wouldn't be able to get one.
And Rolex is way too late.
I would be getting one.
It's the great irony of all. We chat about these watches, but I mean, the odds of us actually Even getting them in our hands is bad enough. Owning them, I mean.
Well, we'll get one. We'll share it around.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We'll
Pass
have
it around.
we'll got our own little secret Zippo club here. We'll get one. We'll share it around.
the Zippo mail service. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, pass it around
We'll
to
have
each
it
other.
the Zippo DHL. We don't like FedEx, do we, Chris?
So the next one coming up is the Fortis Flieger GMT Pilot Racer.
Yeah, this is value
I'd
prop.
just like to give a shout
Such
out to
an
our friend.
underrated brand for us. So
like to give
underrated.
a shout out to our friend Pete off Not So Obvious Watches. Who's got one
We
of
love
these.
Pete.
Yeah, he's got one of these. It's a 40mm, 44mm
TGV.
crown. It's a Type B Flieger design. It's a stainless steel with a bracelet and diver's extension, steel case. Green loom on the hour and minute hand with a subtle little red GMT hand on the inner 24-hour dial. Date function at 3 o'clock. And in 1926, Fortis' founder Walter Vogt joined forces with John Harwood to start the world's first mass production of the first automatic watch in the world, which was the crownless and whose hands was set using a rotating bezel. There's a choice of brand for Russian Space Agency as well as the Mir and International Space Station. Fortis watches have been used in space for more than 25 consecutive years and more than any other brand. And back to flying, Fortises are used by the Swiss, Hungarian, German, Portuguese, and US forces pilots, amongst others, and have broken the highest altitude helicopter flight and civilian world record altitude records in 2002 and 1995. So they really are true tool watches.
I'm afraid the page isn't loading.
Oh, it's not loading, that one.
No.
That Fortis one not loading. Oh well, that was worth a try. Do you want to go on to the next one then, Chris?
Sure.
Yeah, Fortis are a very underrated brand. They really, I mean, especially in the pilot, that sort of space you're talking about, Thomas, they really are underrated.
Yeah. And still independent, I believe, correct?
That's correct. They're one of the only ones that haven't been absorbed, Blue Shirt, by a group.
They were just bought by a fan. Like a fan of the company just bought them recently, I think about a year ago. Yeah.
Isn't he Chris, one of those pilot racer extreme sports type guys?
Maybe. I don't know that much about him.
I saw a video with him with TGV.
Yeah, they made a deal with Iwc to start using their movements. Fortis, though, they have way too many watches. That's the same exact freaking watch. It's just they need a lot less watches.
Well, that's the problem with a lot of smaller independent companies, from my experience, and obviously my firmness in companies is it's like a bad restaurant where they've got a menu which is so extensive they can't really keep up with. People going there for years, expect their favourites, and they have all the different things. And these independent smaller watch brands have got too many SKUs on their product lines, and they're not successful. They've got to cut it down. They've got to narrow their SKUs down and focus on what it's like. The argument about where does Rolex really make its money? Well, Rolex really makes its money out of the date justs and the OPs.
Yeah,
and
true.
So it's the same problem. I mean, as much as we all want, every YouTuber out there wants to talk about submariners and sea dwellers and all the stuff that they like. That's not where the bulk of the Rolex money income comes from. So they've had to go and correct themselves, and what they've done is they reinvented with their 2020 launch a product which suits their cause and their revenue line.
Yeah.
So this one was suggested by Neo, which is the Archimede Pilot 42 GMT. So this one goes for $1,090. This one, and it's
nice as well.
That was in 2018, and it's 42mm, 9.5 thick. It's 50 meters water resistant, stainless steel case with display case back and leather strap. Uses the ETA 2893-2 movement. It's a classic German styling with a Type A Flieger design. It's a date wheel is subtly blended in at 6 o'clock. The movement has been a mainstay in GMT for years, and the red GMT hand adds a nice colour to the 75-year-old Flieger design. The leather strap is a standard, but a Milanese bracelet is also available, and it's got a push and pull crown. So it's a very nice watch and great value for money.
One element that I just think kind of breaks it is that red hand. I think it's just too much. It doesn't need a third. It doesn't need a third hand. I reckon just an arrow, a simple little arrow, whether it's red, whether it's white.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that red hand just makes it a bit too heavy for what it is on the dial. I don't know. That's just
red plus not enough red anywhere else. Maybe that would balance it out a little bit.
Maybe.
Well, when you look at it, you're always kind of forced to look at what the GMT time is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it draws the eye, doesn't it?
It doesn't need to be so heavy. That's all. I mean, it can be just a bit lighter. Red is fine. Maybe just a little bit lighter in weight. You can't go wrong with a GMT.
Now you've said it.
Maybe the Bell and Ross theory of having an orange hand.
Now you've said it. You do just see the GMT hand. You don't see the hour hand.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't have suggested that, ID guy.
sorry, guys. I have to ruin the fun. I'm definitely not going to rip on anyone.
Who left the industrial designer on the show?
Damn it.
But everything else, it's a very good example of
proportion,
the BR style and proportions, and I mean it's a great watch for like $1,000.
Yeah, very
Absolutely. Yeah,
that is amazing. I didn't know it was $1,000. That changes
the great looking watch for the price.
Yeah.
I mean, if you compare it to Laco and Stower, I mean, I think it's got a lot more going for some of those brands. It's much more legible.
We're going to compare it to those just coming up. So we'll see.
Thomas is ahead of the game.
Yeah, we'll see some offerings from them.
I'm guessing IWC is at the very end, right?
Post a shadow of the sacks under your eyes for us to have a look at.
Yeah, this is the Laco Frankfurt GMT, which is a really nice watch. It's 43 millimeters. This is 12.5 thick and 200 meters water resistant. It's a dark sandblasted stainless steel case with a
very cool
aircraft relief stamped on the case back, internal rotatable bezel, and 2 protected screw-down crowns. Uses a Laco 93 caliber, which is an ATA 2893-2. Dates at 6 o'clock. Superluminova C3 coated indices and hands, and black leather straps with nylon and strap in the box. And it's €1,650. This one. I love this design. I think it's great.
That is
just
the
gray. Yeah,
it's just so well balanced. My only criticism,
everything. Yeah.
My only criticism of it would be is that I wish the oranges matched up.
Yeah, it looks like the one's a different shade, huh?
Yeah.
A little more yellow.
Yeah.
Is that mint green or is that the loom?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful watch.
Yeah, I like.
And also, really like the counterbalance on that second hand being a plane. That's something that lots of brands have always done back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that watch. I'd wear that.
But I mean, that's €1,650. I mean, that's a great buy, I think.
You got to compress a crown. I mean, you can use it. You can use that bezel for all sorts of things. You can use it for timing. It doesn't have to just be for the GMT.
Absolutely,
poach an egg with that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
For sure. Poach 4 eggs. that's what I've bumped up to now. It's terrible. I eat way too many eggs in this household. Just letting you guys know.
Eggs are good for you.
I love it. I love eggs.
Yeah, Orange Hand likes this one because it's got his trademark Orange Hand
name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Orange Hand. Got to get yourself that 1655 one day.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, if only.
Jeez.
Get one for me too, Orange Hand.
Yeah, lovely watch. So the next one you mentioned Stover, James.
That's a beautiful watch.
And
well, I usually like Stower over Laco, but this Laco is pretty nice.
I also love the script, just the script of it and everything. I mean, the way they've done the typeface, it looks great. It really does.
Yeah, it does. It looks fantastic.
Well.
I need one of those in my life.
I was just going to say, James. Sorry, Thomas. Can you just shout out the number on that one? I'm just going to.
Frankfurt GMT Grau.
The Frankfurt GMT.
Grau as in grey.
Grau
Grau.
as in grey, yeah. It's the Laco Frankfurt GMT.
Thomas, you need to get a commission from Laco. I think you just sold one to James.
Yeah, straight.
That's just a perfect weekend watch or polo with a polo watch.
And it's a Red Dot winner. Red Dot is a design award group, by the way. Everyone in the industrial space, industrial design, furniture, product space submits designs to Red Dot, and if you win awards, you've been considered, and it's good. I mean, there's a few brands that are generally Red Dot winners. I think Iwc has won a few times. Nomos has won a few times.
Right.
This is very good. 2020 as well, so it won this year.
Yeah.
It comes with 2 straps, a NATO and a leather. That's fantastic.
You can't go wrong with that. And that gray, flat, slate gray is just so distinctive. You just don't see that.
There's a lot of watch there for the money.
James.
Yeah.
On your wrist with some nice grey Nikes or Adidas's, mate, on the weekends.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah. Lovely.
This watch would look great with the orange strap.
It would.
Yeah.
Oh,
Orange and grey.
NATO with orange
Erica
accents.
strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at that for the price, if that had one of the heavy hitting brand names on, that you're looking at £6,000-7,000 watch if that was carrying.
Easily, yeah.
If that was carrying another brand.
Omega or
IW.
well, it's good enough for the Luftwaffe. So yeah.
Jeez. Amazing history there, hey, when you think about those watches over time.
Absolutely.
That's an outstanding looking watch.
It is, I love it.
I'm just Googling it now. Have you seen the boxes?
Hey, James, while you're online,
metal boxes.
One for each of us.
Yeah, the metal box it comes in. It's interesting, isn't it?
When you look it up and you look at the metal box that it comes in with all the toys, that's how a watch should be displayed. That is credit to the company. I've got one here at 12 for those people in the UK, £1,214.95.
Jeez, that's so decent.
That's a good value.
Yeah,
There's a lot of value in that watch.
And the loom orange tag, so I think Orange Hand wants one too.
The loom. If you see a loom shot, the loom shot on it is awesome.
Also really good. And what I like is that it's taking the Flieger, but it's making it look more modern. It's bringing it up to the daily context.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be a Type A or a Type B.
No,
blend it up, mix it up.
Very true.
Definitely different and stands out, but is stylish and that's a good looking watch.
Yeah. A blog to watch had one on his YouTube channel on the 10th of July.
One of the most underrated YouTube channels on the platform. I think Ariel is so good because it's not pretentious. It's not trying to be. He just does the work, and it's a pity that his stuff doesn't get seen more. I'm sure the website gets seen, but his YouTube channel, it's a pity that he's not looked at more. I always love his opinions because it's just down the line.
Did you watch his lockdown videos of all his watches?
No,
yes. Yeah, they were good.
Oh, he
I
had
love
so
those.
many watches every day doing new lockdown video of all the watches that he'd reviewed. His collection was unbelievable.
Oh, geez, I've got to go bookmark that right now. That's great.
It's like hours. It's hours and hours to get through them all.
He had so many watches that he had been given for review. It was like micro brands, everything you can think of. It was him just like talking about them again. It was amazing.
It's nuts.
So you mentioned Stover as well, James. So we'll move on to Stover, which is the next one, the next link I put in Zippo.
Sorry, Thomas. Thomas, I was just going to say, if anyone is curious on this watch we've just been looking at, take a look over at a blog to watch because the video is really good quality, and again, you can see he's messing around with the functions and stuff. It's
right, brilliant.
Nice.
So recommend that to the punters. Yeah.
Great. No, it's all right, guys. James is buying us all one.
So yeah, this is the Stover Flieger GMT.
Wow, this looks like a Ploprof.
45 millimeter, 45 and 46 millimeters. This is 12.9
nice
thick. It's 200 meter water resistant. This goes for 1,822 euros, including VAT. So that would be for the UK market. It's a titanium case with exhibition case package. The caliber ETA 07.171. Automatic.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. Automatic with golden Stover engraving on the rotor. Stover will even customize your watch as a gift for lasting memories or special occasions by engraving parts of the watch, such as a case, the strap buckle, or the movement rotor. Yeah. They say their online engravings configurator may help you to be almost infinitely creative. And the Superluminova, which is white, and it's available with or without the date at 6 o'clock. The clasp is available for the leather band as well. So you can get this customized engraved. You can get your rotor engraved with your name or a message to a friend as a gift. So it's
I'll have my rotor engraved with 168 on it. Thanks, Thomas.
You know what's crazy? This watch, just as I saw this watch again, it reminds me of Zin EZM 3. Have a look at the Zin. Have a look at the Zin EZM 3 and blow your mind. The dial looks exactly the same.
It's very similar to the Vostok N1 rocket.
It's crazy. These dials just crop up.
So this is using the classic Flieger A sort of A-type Flieger design.
Yeah.
It's nice, but I'm sorry. Lyco for me.
Yeah, the bezel. I think the bezel is quite a detractor
for me as well.
The bezel is a little bit too cluttered, and you can't actually tell where everything is. It's a little bit too heavy.
At that price,
yeah, true.
It's not a standout compared to the Lyco. The Lyco just is a complete standout design.
The Lyco's a winner so far, isn't it? I think, yeah.
Oh, it's a complete winner.
And I've just found out the Lyco.
James online right now with a credit card buying it.
Do you know? I've just found as well. It's 200 meter water resistance as well.
Nice.
Well, even better. So when I'm jumping out of the plane and freebasing, I usually land somewhere in the Mediterranean.
It's practical. Hell, it's practical.
If you're the Mediterranean, I can hook you up with some of my relatives.
Oh, really?
Yeah, great. We're up for that. Let's all take a holiday.
You know, I'm usually then I swim onto my boat, and then I usually have a martini, shaken, not stirred.
Of course.
So we're not fans of this one.
Nah.
No, I think it's okay. Got some good points. It's not bad. And usually, I would say personally, I'm usually go for a Stoa over a Lyco because I always found Lycos a bit too
boring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not anymore by the sound of things.
Yeah,
because Lyco recently released like dial watches as well, and they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well,
the reviews I read about them weren't very good.
Talking of the Zin EZM, we can move on to a Zin.
Yes.
Which is next.
Yes, boy. Let's do it.
Look at the Zin 757S UTC.
Oh, I love that thing.
I think it's so cool. Duo chronograph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this Zin takes its design cues from Zin's cockpit clocks. It's
They do some good stuff, hey?
Yeah, they do.
It's the 43 millimeters, 15 millimeters thick, 200 meters water resistance. I think this retailed for £2,800. It's a caliber. It's got the Valju 7750 in it. Mm-hmm. Self-winding movement with anti-magnetic properties.
Not cheap.
Isn't it amazing that there's so much going on the dial, but you can actually break up everything and see what's going on at a glance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the second time zone's displayed by the green GMT hand on a 12-hour basis, and the chronograph function is as well as a pilot's bezel. It's not a GMT bezel. Stainless steel case tempered with a tegmented technology and black hard coated. Temperature resistant from minus 45 degrees C to up to plus 80 degrees C, and it's air dehumidifying technology enhances the functional reliability and freedom from fogging of the crystal. And it's got a screw down crown as well. So yeah, this is an interesting one. This one.
I would love to recommend one Zin that I think we should all look at. I don't know if I'm allowed to interject.
Of course you are.
Am I allowed?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, of course.
There's one piece that it's called the EZM 12. And
yes,
it's made originally for helicopter rescue pilots. And it's so interesting. It's got a pulsation dial, so you can actually use it to track someone's pulse while you're in the middle of the sea. That's got highlights and all kinds of beautiful things to it. You can have a look at that in a sec.
Yeah,
Or now, I don't know.
Yeah, and any of those ECM ones are just freaking awesome.
It's just a watch on steroids.
We all like steroids.
Well, anabolic steroids, I say, not the other kind, not the medical kind.
I'm too
Yeah,
old.
can you bring that up, Zippo? The EZM, which one was
EZM 12. EZM 12.
EZM 12.
It also falls in line with this because it's mainly given to paramedics, and I think it's got a fascinating. It's brand new as well. Actually, no, it's not. 2017. I love the accents and the little details.
Is that the one
Wow,
that has
that's
like
amazing.
the strap comes
It's
off?
got it.
Oh yeah, I've seen this before. This is a cool watch.
Have a look at that one in the middle left there. It looks a bit bigger. Blog to watch. One across. Yeah. That running seconds inside the dial. You see those numerals that look like a crescent. That's for the pulse. You can actually track someone's pulse over 30 seconds and determine how they are at a glance. It's got a date. It's got so many little factors. I think Orange Hand might like this because it matches his aesthetic. Yeah, fascinating. And as Neo said, the strap detaches really easily. I think it's titanium. Everything is just forged this titanium as you would expect. Really interesting watch for a pilot.
Geezer, welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Geezer. Good to see
Welcome.
How are you, Geezer?
Hello, Geezer. Good to see you, man.
you. Yeah, an interesting one. This is definitely one for Orange Hand again. It's got his aesthetic, as you say, hasn't it?
There's some great context photos. I think Time and Tide did quite a good coverage of capturing them actually being used in the helicopter. I think they're really interesting pieces. The EZM line we could do a whole video just looking at EZM watches because it's just so much variety.
Tim Mosso's watch of choice, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
EZM 1.1, I think.
Yep.
Has he changed watches yet, Tim Mosso?
He's sold everything, and he has an EZM 1.1, I think, and that's it. Pretty amazing.
Wow.
Is that the one he's had for ages? Or is that new?
Yeah.
That's the one he's had. He only wears it on a leather strap, and he does everything with it. He's been wearing it for years.
And he is such the JLC fanboy, and to sell everything he had, including a Duometra.
He has a good point,
about
though.
the Zin.
Yeah, he has a good point about it, though. I mean, the fact that he handles these things on a daily basis. I think it's difficult to fall in love with one. So that he can just humble himself down to a watch that is very plain. I mean, honestly, if you had a look at it. But it's incredible. It definitely speaks to what the brand offers. It's so many things. I mean, just the indicators. I mean, it has this argon gas detector inside it, and just further and further. This does fit very well in the pilot space. Special police, special service.
This is the 1.1?
Yeah, that's the one. Mission timer.
I mean, these watches are literally built like battleships. They're incredible.
Titanium. It's got this fancy capsule inside the case that basically pulls out all the moisture inside it. The chronograph is reversed, so you can actually. I think it does have a separate time. No, it's just a running chronograph. It's a really interesting piece. So minimalist, which is also interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got your access to as many watches as he's got access to, I mean, how do you choose?
Yeah.
How do you afford it as well when the prices some of them are?
Yeah, but you can look, but you can't touch.
If I only had one watch, I'd be like chewing my arm off.
That'd be difficult, eh? I don't think any one of us could actually do it and commit.
Well, you have nearly, haven't you, ID guy?
Yeah, Seamaster, I love it. 57,
Yeah,
but
that's a short term. It's not going to be a long term decision for the rest of your life.
as once the Rolex releases were brought out, I started looking at Speedmasters and Seamaster Professionals on rubber. That's what I've been gravitating towards
Really?
lately. Yeah, value proposition. I think they're just ideal. They're so good, especially in the second hand. Don't buy them brand new.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned about your Seamaster 300 because obviously we share the same watch, and that's one watch in the collection that I could
wear every day.
Yeah, I could.
It's funny you showcase. I started watching your channel years ago when you did that wearing one watch only, the Submariner, and you were comparing it to the Speedmaster. Yeah, and it's a very interesting proposition. Thinking, could you do it?
Committing. I couldn't. I tried. I did 6 months with one watch, and I ended up going back to a full collection again. But
respect for your honesty.
It's a cool thing. It is a cool thing, and I fully respect anyone who can do it. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it, James.
It is really difficult. But it is nice because you build such memories with just one piece. You know,
every scratch. Yeah.
Well, the problem isn't the watch. The problem is that we have too much expendable income.
It's true.
Yeah, once you're sucked into the hobby, though, it's hard to get away from, isn't it? It's an addiction. Yeah.
It's a disease for sure.
I can't travel that without full rotation for a week.
But I mean, that's cool. And a full rotation can be like 3 pieces. That's great.
That's 7 in my world.
7. One day for the week.
Wow.
Well, sort of like, one for the day and one for the night. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
And Jared Perigo, every day.
Oh, I have it. I don't wear it every day. I'm probably a bit more of a Rolex every day, but keeping it real, depending on what level I'm dealing. Don't
That's
be
crazy.
turning up with a Gerard Perigo or something too expensive doing business.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to be your valet if I could wear the Constant Force.
The Constant Escapement,
yeah, beautiful.
But the thing about the Constant Escapement is that nobody actually, even people who claim to be into, high-end horology, nobody actually realizes what it is. People just assume it's like a Swatch type watch or something you buy off AliExpress. Because people actually don't realize what it is, so there's no chance somebody's going to steal it off your wrist. I've got cool. 7 or 8 of them now. So I've got every single model in the range. Every time I release a limited edition, I've got from the 43mm to the 48mm, and from platinum to titanium to rose gold. So people don't really realize it actually what it is. So it's like a little rubber band inside it. The thing is just like, what sort of watch is that? That's a cheapie.
Yeah. The cool thing about it, the more obscure the brand, the less people know about it. So the safer you are wearing it. It's great, right?
If I had a Rolex on my wrist and I was walking in a pub, I'd be spotted by somebody and somebody would try to mug you for it. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
A Rolex. Next to these, it's a Rolex. It's just a steel watch.
Shot in the dark. Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, hey, Shot in the Dark. How are you doing? Yeah, so the next watch I had on the GMT pilot list was a Bell & Ross, if you want to click on that one.
Interesting.
And this one has the orange hand aesthetic as well, so this one's got the...
We're running up a mighty big bill for orange hand.
Yeah.
Matthew says a good point here. He says, Zinn is a brand one could certainly hang one's hat on. Amazing stuff. Yep. Yeah, I agree. There's so much. And just look at the EZM and the U line, U1, U50. Those 2 lines, there's so much variety in there. It's one of the most underrated segments in the space, I think.
I used to have a 104, and I would think, why the hell don't I just sell everything else and keep this one? It does everything I need.
It's a great watch.
Yeah, so this is the Bell & Ross BR03-93.
You can see where the inspiration came from, right? Look at that hand. Oh, my soul.
So, this is 42mm, 100m water resistant, satin finish polish case with a graduated fixed bezel, black calfskin strap, and Pete, give a shout out to Pete again from Not So Obvious Watches, who has this watch.
Dropped a video on this, didn't he?
Described
Nice.
this watch as which he owns as being a mix of having Panerai numerals, a Rolex Explorer 2 GMT hand, Flieger minute and hour hands, and the corner screws of a Royal Oak, which is quite a combo, to be honest with
It's
you.
actually a very cool looking watch.
Yeah.
No
It's actually
kidding.
a great look. It's a
It looks-
great looking watch.
It looks really cool.
And when you consider you can pick these up for second hand for sort of $1,000 US or $1,200 US.
It's pretty interesting, yeah. Like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of their divers watchers, but the instrument panel ones are really fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm with you, Neo. I'm not the the biggest Bell and Ross guy, but particularly this watch it's good looking and it stands out.
I mean, you could literally just cut a square out of your dashboard and stick that in, and it would fit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yep.
It looks fantastic, this watch. I mean, it looks good on wrist as well. I mean, there's not many square watches many of us would consider good on wrist, but this is a great looking watch on wrist.
Does look really nice. I love it. Yeah.
And
Do you not think-
welcome.
Do you not think Bell and Ross are one of those watches that, I remember, like for myself, it's not one that I'd ever put in the collection, but I admire them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, James. Yeah, it's a bit too much to pull the trigger, but you can admire, you can appreciate what they are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Tell that to my wife, James. She's got the skull versions.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's one of those. What I mean, particularly the GMT. Not this particular one. It's the all black version that I saw. And I saw it in the shop window, and I'd only ever seen it online. And when I saw it in the window, I thought, God, that's a really attractive. And there is something that draws you to them. It's just not enough to pull the trigger on. Like Thomas said.
Yeah.
As Orange Hand is saying, in theory, watches.
Yes. Yeah.
What's funny. I mean, we look at that dial on the piece. The first thing that comes to mind for most of us would be something like a Nixon watch, because it seems like it has that same kind of. It's sad when these brands have stolen all these aesthetics from a bigger name, but I guess that's just how the world works. So Panerai numerals. I mean, they look open 6s and 9s, very clean. Like it. The urban camo though. Don't know how many people could pull that off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, James can. You're into camo, aren't you, James?
Yes.
I don't know whether that'd be a look for you, that one.
No, my wife's got the camo and the skull.
This is a hard one to read.
Yeah, it's quite hard to decipher that, isn't it?
But I think the difference between us guys who wear them as tool watches as compared to women who wear them as fashion accessories, it's a very different cause.
Yeah, it's true.
They actually match their watch to their outfit as we match our outfit to our watch.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the stress of matching a watch to an outfit? That sounds like hell on earth.
Depends if you roll out of bed every day and don't really care what you're wearing, or As I actually wear the same thing every day. I just match my watch to my kicks.
That's easier.
Just to say, shot in the dark. Just to say quickly, shot in the dark. If you fancied a free watch, Junior Johnson's doing a giveaway. If you wanted to hop on and tell us what you think of Pilot's watches.
I really must say the way they've done the bezel here is also subtle. It's nice.
Yeah, I really like this. I really like this watch.
And even the strap, I mean, it just fits, right? It has that nylon, would you say, canvas strap?
Yeah, these come with 2 straps, and then with these Bell and Rosses, when you get them, they come in a really nice box, and they come with a rubber and a leather strap.
Yeah.
Welcome, Watch and Pray.
Yeah, good to see you all, guys. Great to see you all in the chat. So the next one I was gonna do our final watch was the Zenith Montre Deronef. Zenith Montre Deronef Type 20 GMT Pilot watch. Oh, shot in the dark. Great to see you.
Afternoon,
Welcome.
all.
Welcome,
How you
Pleasure
Shadow
in the
doing?
Dark.
dark. How are you doing?
All right. Hey, I greatly appreciate the warm welcome.
Yeah, good to see
Hey,
you.
shot in
Thank
the
you
dark. How
for
are you?
thank you for joining us.
You're always welcome here, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Thank
Yeah, always welcome.
Well, I just want you to know I appreciate it.
Yeah, great to see you.
So
Well,
classic Zenith Pilot watch.
Yeah,
looks
this
the
is
Onion
business.
crowned.
a
I like that.
48 millimeter, 15.8 thick, dial opening of which is 40 millimeters. This is 100 meters water resistant, 50-hour power reserve, small seconds at 9 o'clock. It's self-winding. Caliber Elite 693, the Zenith Elite 693 caliber, which is quite a small caliber there. It's smaller than the case, so they had to put a smaller caliber in the case. But the caliber won an award in 1996. The case back features the Zenith Flying Instruments logo and the Super Luminova on numerals and hands. First introduced at Basel World 2012 as a 57.5 millimeter model.
Holy
This version
smokes.
was released at Basel in 2013 as a 48 millimeter case. Zenith owns a trademark for Pilot, apparently, so you'll only see that word on their dials. And
That's
Montre
correct.
Wow.
d'Aéronef is French for onboard watch and has a traditional navigator styling with its big onion crown, just like the hand-wound pocket watches of old that were strapped to the wrists of some aviators. The large pusher at 10 o'clock allows the wearer to advance the GMT hand 1 hour with each push along a 24-hour railroad chapter ring without the need to use the crown. And it has elongated Mercedes-style hour hand and retailed for $7,900, which was 6,000 euros.
Can I say that I like this over the Type A, Type B Flieger dials? I think this is
Absolutely. You
very
can.
classy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
This
a
is a
nice
beautiful watch. I mean, I've got one of these, and they're absolutely outstanding watch. I've got the Havana one, and you can buy them so cheap now, second hand. Like we're talking $3,000 or $4,000.
And this is Zenith
Yeah.
we're talking about, eh?
Correct.
Yeah, and Anne's Pilot, and they are the only people who are trademarked to have Pilot on the watch. I've got the brown, not the steel version. It's got a huge onion crown. It's a big piece on your wrist, so not going to suit everybody, but they are just a wonderful, wonderful watch.
Jeez, look at that case back. That is
Well
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And they called it a Type 20. I wonder why the Type 20, how that lines up with the timeline.
Rega's Type 20, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
40s
much
and
bigger.
50s.
It's much bigger than the Type 20. I don't know
Yeah.
why they call it the Type 20, because there aren't that many factors that align with the Type 20.
No.
It was just a great watch. I only rediscovered mine last year because I had it sitting away. But I just during lockdown actually, this year actually, this year. Sorry, during lockdown I rediscovered mine. It was I love it.
And we have the Rancher joining us.
Rancher,
Nice to have.
welcome.
Hey, nice. So why are you showing the Patek Philippe on the screen?
That's true, right? Looks just like that Calatrava for sure.
Welcome,
Clive.
Roger.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Clive.
Hey, Clyde. Hey guys, I got a drop. I have a 7-year-old that wants her birthday presents.
Oh, wish her happy birthday, Leo. Wish her happy birthday. to all of us.
Yeah.
Later, guys.
Good to talk to you, Neo.
Yep.
Yeah, good.
Catch you
to talk to
later.
you.
Cheers,
Okay.
brother.
Later.
See ya.
So I just wanted to say to a shot in the dark, we've got a little giveaway this week, and Junior Johnson's donated a watch to the channel to give away, which is a bronze-cased aviator's
Pilot's watch. Yeah.
Pilot's watch. And we were wondering, are you in need of a bronze-cased pilot's watch by any chance?
Say yeah.
Say yes.
Would you like to say yes to that? There it is. It's a steel die.
Yep. I'm looking at it as we speak, and it's
It looks
It's
very
a
much
beautiful watch.
Very much like the IWC Mark 15.
Correct.
It's
Oh, Mark
The
12.
Flieger.
It's a great looking watch.
a great looking watch, yeah. We're doing a new
That is
segment
nice.
called From Punter to Punter, so you could be a recipient of Junior Johnson's watch.
Okay.
Do you have what do you have in your collection?
Right now, not a whole lot. I have some Seikos and, of course, my infamous Steinhardt. That seems to be my daily here lately.
Right.
So,
Well, I think that we couldn't find a more deserving person to award this to. So if you send me your details, you can private message me in the Discord if you want. Send me your details, and I'll get this off to you.
all right, thank you.
You're
There you
welcome. You're
go.
welcome, and thank Junior Johnson, because it's his
Yeah.
generosity
Thank
that
Junior.
gifted the watch to the channel. So from
Nice.
punter to punter.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Thank you, Junior Johnson.
Yeah, big thank you to Junior Johnson. He's
Yeah,
a good
man.
man.
Yep,
Yeah.
and congratulations to Shot in the Dark.
Congratulations, Shot.
So I think on that note, we should probably start to wrap this up, because only ID guy can do 3+ hour streams.
Guys, I swear I'm only
No, he
warming
does,
up.
no, he does 4-hour streams now.
Wait
We've
a minute,
got
I'm the new
3 hours,
Dr.
59
BBW yet?
minutes.
Yes,
Am I
Clive,
the
you
new
are.
Dr. BBW here?
Now Clive's here. We have to all depart.
That is so good. I love it. Yeah, not even kidding. I'm not even warmed up. This is a breeze.
Hey,
It's like-
ID guy, you didn't do anything this weekend. I couldn't
No,
help but notice
I decided, you know what, needs to have a break. I put a Rolex thing out, which was pretty entertaining. But other than that, no. Next weekend we'll have a wrist shot week as always, and then hopefully jump onto one of these again on Sunday if I'm not dead.
If you haven't drunk too much whiskey and had
Yeah.
too much,
You just needed to have some of Clive's amazing pour over Chemex coffee.
I'm getting anonymous whiskey sent to me now, and I'm very scared.
Oh, actually, wait! I do have a small announcement. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I was playing with my Oscar, my little semi-automatic espresso maker, and of course, the shots you're supposed to pull for 30 seconds. So I'm saying, I hit the button 1001. Hey, wait a fucking minute. So I dig through the box. I dig through my box of chronographs. I pulled out my Airmar Long Beach, wind it, set it. So I actually use a chronograph for something productive. I want that note.
That is record setting.
That's quite good, actually.
wow.
Not too many of us can say that we use a chronograph to actually time something.
Damn straight.
Yeah, time eggs or coffee or
Especially
eggs generally.
Right.
Well, especially after Domino's Brisbane quit the 15 minutes or it's free special.
Clive, I must say, Clive, now that I can actually chat to you personally, I must say your zingers and the way you're always on point with your comments, it's like it's a gift. It is a gift.
Yeah,
like, let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
I cannot stop laughing half the time. Your live streams that you sometimes pull off, live stream, like a real live stream. That evening, I stumbled onto the show just when that was happening.
I couldn't tell if anyone could hear that or not.
I nearly died. That was the best thing I'd listened to. I broke down. It was so funny.
I viewed it as more like editorial comment.
I tell you what. But yeah, Shaitan says, I have the endurance to withstand Rolex Steel Sports waitlist. No one does, Shaitan. I definitely don't for that.
no, I don't think anyone does.
No.
Well, I might be. I actually got a call from formerly Uberoki's private watchsmith. I might have a shot at a few more vintage chronographs. That sound interesting.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
But I've told myself once I hit 25, I'm gonna really start slowing down.
Show self-restraint.
That 321 that you ripped off that old man's corpse. That'll never disappear. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's a once in a lifetime deal for sure.
Well, believe it or not, the rare birds have doubled.
That's crazy. They're going to triple soon, I'm sure.
Well, the thing is, though, it's just like you go on Chrono 21. Everyone's talking about Daytona. There's dozens, maybe hundreds on sale. You pull up Chrono 21 for the 1630. There's 4.
Yeah.
Not in the U.S. in the world. You pull up the 1530 and there's 2. So it's just like,
yeah, it's funny how demand.
That's why they're the rare birds.
Rare birds.
Yeah. Rare birds.
Any more pieces you'd like to pull up? Is there anything else we would like to add to this collection of Pilot watches?
I've been through all mine. If you've got any more recommendations.
Zodiac. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just looking. I'm just cruising. What else is there?
Glycine Airman, 24-hour Vietnam era. Because to me, right now though, God, who is the guy? He's on 5th, and he's the UFO guy. God, I can't think of his name offhand. But he actually picked up a lovely Longines vintage chronograph.
There's some good stuff. You're talking about the real vintage, not a reissue.
Exactly. And to me, vintage is where the flavor is right now. That's and I also think like 50s Movado is going to be the next thing to take off.
Movado? Oh, there's a good tip for the future.
Movado.
Well, because keep in mind, a Movado is like a 50s Movado. If you look at like Tech Fleet from the 50s compared to the Movado, they were outsourcing a lot of common components.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm looking at automotive inspired pieces like any car.
I'm sorry, what?
Anika was a goodie.
Any car, yeah.
Oh, any car, yeah.
That's what. And also Elgin for the
Elgin,
the World
yeah.
War II dirty dozen. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just looking at chronographs. I'm thinking, in the pilot space, talking about the 765 and the 806. That type, since we were talking about type 20s a second ago, that falls into that category pretty well,
for sure.
But then it's not a GMT.
Just to remind everyone, if you want to give us a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see.
Also, look around. The World War II, the actual authentic World War II pieces are rapidly disappearing.
Right.
If there's one near,
well, they're being bought up.
Right.
James, how many of them do you have?
Sorry?
How many of the World War II watches do you have?
Dirty dozens.
Dirty dozens.
A couple of sets of those.
Dozens and dozens.
Dozens of them, yeah, dozens.
Well, I'm buying. Well, they've been going to auction, so they sell them in lots now. Unfortunately, the fun of buying them in individual pieces has sort of vanished, unfortunately, which was something that my daughters and I did together. So now they're being sold in lots. So the various like the Knightsbridge.
Watches of Knightsbridge. Yeah. It sucks. They got the full set, but it's just you lose that charm of being able to pick them up without anyone knowing.
But they sort of complement what we already had. So I think we've bought 3 sets there, and then there's Phillips. We've got a Fortis set or 2, and they're not overly priced. So because not everybody is in that space, but when you put them with what you already have, it makes it quite nice. So my big hot tip is Laurent Ferrier. I think that's the next big brand. Well, everybody's on the FP Jawn train at the moment. I think that Laurent Ferrier is going to be the next big mover and shaker.
I'm sorry, it sounded for a second like you said low rent Ferrier.
Yeah, those assegai hands. It's the one thing a South African can actually include in a conversation. It's a bonus.
It's the tubes in my nostrils.
And I'm not knocking the dirty dozen, but I've been having some fun collecting watches, shall we say, from the other side. The DH, the DH and the D watches.
Yeah, they're good too.
Fisto saying it's a watch bang. Feels like it, right? It's one hell of a meeting place. I love it, and the fact that there's like 30 guys watching and that's it. It's amazing. I think it's so nice just being subtle about this, just being able to chat and not having, 300 plus people in the chat and it's just going wild.
Yeah, welcome WV David R. We're just about to round up, I think.
Yep.
You'd have a few long jeans, wouldn't you, Clyde? You'd have a few of the dirty dozens. They're my favourite, to be honest with you, the long jeans, dirty dozens.
Well, actually, Longines, I've got a Longines DH, so they're like the typical Swiss. They're playing both sides for profit.
I got to say, IWC, they really milked it. Hey? They had they had such a good position back in those days. They're just right on that borderline between Switzerland and Germany. They could do whatever they wanted.
The 1942 long jeans. I mean, come on. I've got loads of those. I mean, that's my favourite World War II dirty dozen piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. They really are nice looking.
Do you have an A11 though?
Have a what? Sorry,
A11.
I don't think so, Clive.
Get one. Get one now while you still can.
Yeah. I love my
do you want
little
to sell me one?
I have an Elgin A11. I love it.
Nice.
I have a Bulova.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, I know the Bulova.
I've got the one from 1943. For some reason, Bulova, because they're almost always like nickel-plated brass. In 6 months in 1943, Bulova got some idea in his head and started producing their A11s with silver cases.
Ooh, that's sick. Must be corrosion related. Maybe they thought less corrosive for their purpose.
Only for 6 months.
Well, it's Bulova, so maybe they're a little bit bipolar. The black dog of depression. They lost their mojo.
I don't think they knew what the black dog was back then.
True.
Every day was a black day back in those days. Remember?
Yeah. Every day was a blessing not to get your head shut off.
Yeah. The building stayed up.
Just to answer Matthew Gurlitz, I haven't bought a Hulk for 29k yet. I don't think I will be.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no.
That is just. I saw one today. I think last night. I was just browsing, and someone, not even kidding, this was on eBay. I don't know how it popped up on eBay as a recommended, but it was £50,000.
You're kidding me.
£50,000. And just next to it, and then suddenly a Daytona pops up next to it for a GMT Pepsi for 15. And I'm looking at these two things going, sorry, what? What am I seeing here? Right. What is this guy smoking? Must be good stuff.
I know there aren't too many people out there watching us, but please, anybody, if you're even thinking about buying a Hulk, wait.
Don't
do it now. Don't do it now.
You wouldn't believe the hate mail that I got after that video that I released, telling people.
You were so true, James.
What did you say?
Well, I released a video basically saying to people, stop, do not buy, Hulks now, do not do it. And I used the Batman as an example to say, the Batman, when it was discontinued, it shot up to 18,000. Within a few weeks, it dropped down to 15,000. Then, 3 to 6 months, it finds its level in the marketplace, and it will drop back down to its true value. And it's happened with the Batman. The Batman's now, 12,000, 12,500.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. The Hulk people are chancing their arm. It's just gone ridiculous. It'll fall back down again and it'll level out. But because I said that, people that have actually bought these Hulks for 20,000 have come on to me and said, what do you know, blah, blah, blah. And,
oh, no.
Yeah, so I got quite a bit of hate mail for that one.
Well, the Batgirl's still got a noisy rotor, and if anybody wants to pay me 20,000 for a Hulk, I'm going to give them.
I think James has like a shoebox full of them. Let's be real.
A shoebox, yeah, it's a bit more than a shoebox, but 20,000, and I'll give Mace discount on them.
And you'll give a complimentary brochure or something with it, right? I hope.
Yeah, I'll give you a Rolex notepad and any other stuff that Hourglass gave me when I bought them. Yeah. Because they're probably still in the bag with the box is still unopened with the tags on it.
I'll tell you, the worst thing is Instagram. Like I've picked up Instagram as a great platform to just look at watches, to find some inspiration here and there, and the flogging of these watches now, you cannot believe. It's just everywhere. You just see Hulks everywhere, and they say this is so much better because of this and that reason. And you think to yourself, a couple of years ago, there was $6,000, $4,000.
But can you believe, right, that you've got people out? I mean, and this is the emails that I was sending back. Where, when people say to me, "I've just paid 20,000 for a Hulk," and blah blah, I emailed them back and said, "You're a fool. You've just paid. you've just paid.
No wonder you got the hate mail.
Well, you've just paid Daytona Panda money for a Hulk." And I explained. I said, if you'd have put that 20,000 into a Daytona Panda, what price is that Daytona Panda going to be when it gets discontinued? To put it into context. And people just, I thought this 20,000 asking price was just an asking price, but there are actually people out there that have paid it, and it's just frightening. It's frightening.
Talk about the definition of stupid.
Well, I really like Roman Sharf, but I don't want to pay for an addition to his house.
Right.
I always
sending out email blasts. He's a friend of mine. I buy him quite often. He always looks after me. But the Kermit that Thomas has got, he's got obviously a stash of them. He's sending out email blasts every day. They're $24,500 US.
Good God!
Wow.
But do you not think it's frightening though that there's people out there that are prepared? I always assumed that if someone's got 20,000 to spend on a wristwatch, they were quite intelligent people. They've obviously done something in life to get 20,000 to spend on a wristwatch. It turns out that
hard end, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
mind-boggling.
Is it panic buying?
Yes,
Is it what, sorry?
It's panic buying. Yeah, it's like it's almost as if now all of a sudden there's serious want, and they just have to have it, even if they don't like the damn watch, they buy it, and it's hilarious.
Well, once again, Thomas, you better just keep that Kermit locked away.
Yeah, I think so.
But enjoy it too. You have
Enjoy
to wear
it, but just keep
Don't damage it.
Don't damage
And
it.
mark my words, your Milgauss is going to be discontinued soon as well. There's just a feeling in the air.
Yeah, I
palpable.
agree.
You just know that Z Blue is going to go.
Too bad you didn't tell that to showcase earlier.
What happened?
I don't think it's panic buying. I think it's FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah. Catch the train before it departs the station.
Well, you see, people are actually putting a £11,000 value on the green bezel and the green dial. When you look at when you look at the sub date and you look at the Hulk, people are putting £11,000 value on a green dial and a green bezel.
Let's not even talk about the Nautilus and the Royal Oaks out there now.
Let's not even.
Yeah,
that's $50,000 plus.
You've got the new Moses Streamliner, which is considerably $10,000 plus less than a Royal Oak.
Yeah,
I mean, my daughter just got one, and it's
no comparison.
$10,000 less than
It's
a Royal
hilarious.
Oak.
You have to laugh.
I mean, and it's different, and it's not like a sub or a Royal Oak or
high horology.
It's definitely high horology. It's a beautiful piece, a beautiful bracelet. You turn the back of it around, and it's something joyful to look at, just like the AP. But it's $10,000 of your hard-earned cash.
Yeah,
right.
It's unbelievable how the brand has. Where do we see it from here? That's what I would like to ask. In years to come, will there be a time when they decide, okay, that's it, professional models, we're going to taper down even more. We're not going to sell them anymore. Going to move somewhere else. Will that ever be a thing? Will they ever factor that in? There has to be an endpoint somewhere.
When James Dowling was being interviewed by Tim Mosso about going to a Christie's, I think it was a Christie's auction in like 1999.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically going up there with a list of bubble backs.
Yeah, passing up on the Daytonas.
Yeah. And it feels just like that now. What's hot now in the next 10 years, probably find it's going to be just meh. Move on to the next thing.
But think about it, a Royal Oak, stainless steel Royal Oak white dial, which, let's face it, it's a beautiful looking piece. It's still a stainless steel sports watch with a white dial.
It's a stainless steel watch.
For $31,500.
Yeah, yeah.
And now Moser releases this beautiful looking green fume dialed looking watch, which is just amazing. And it will come out in other colours. There's no doubt about that. And it is over $10,000 cheaper. and it's not in everybody's wrist.
But
It's hilarious.
to spend 10,000 on a Hulk, that is beyond FOMO. That's more like homo, horrified of missing out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct.
Damn right.
So well said.
Great.
So
See what I
well
mean?
said.
Clive always has the zinger at the end somewhere.
He does.
Oh, that is
Not the quick
such
shot.
brilliant.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'd just like to add that, just real quick.
No, I get it completely. That is
we love
so
gay men.
well said.
Yeah.
What do we think is going to happen? So, Thomas, what do you think is going to happen to your Kermit now? I mean, do you have the flat 4 Kermit, or is yours sort of a
No,
later
it's not
one?
a flat 4. It's just the normal one.
It was the last It was the last model,
Yeah,
last generation.
It's the last one of the last years.
The last of the
Also-
last.
That's the best, man.
So it's got the thingy on the inside of the bezel, the chapter in.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, cool. So
It's going to go up, Thomas. It's going to go up.
Yeah. It's
Just
funny,
see
man.
that,
I
mate.
mean, and it's like the demand for a bezel. But then the nice thing about those Kermits was that they were, you could say they're kind of like the Air King Frankensteins in a way, because they had the modern dials in the vintage in the 5-digit case.
my maxi dial inside the old case.
Was it Chromolite Loom yet, or was it just still green loom?
Still green loom. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, that's what makes it more desirable.
Absolutely.
It's just peculiar.
That's a grill watch for me, so you better look out.
Really a shot.
See,
I take the Kermit over the Hulk every day of the week.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, I got out of frog ranching way too early.
Yeah, you had so many of them at one stage. I had like 3.
5.
No, I only had 2. Let's not exaggerate.
Only.
Only had 2.
And you already got out of them already.
What?
You got out of them already.
Yeah.
Oh, for a while. James, I'm having trouble hearing you. Could you either speak up or pull the string at the end of your can a little tighter?
Even better now.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
No
all right.
worries. No worries. Well, what do you think, guys? Is time to wrap this baby up.
I think we're ready to.
Okay, I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank the Rancher and Shot in the Dark, and James from Showcased Watches, and James Arthur. Thank you for coming, and a very, very big thank you and to ID Guy for joining us pretty much the whole stream. So thank you so much. We really
this has been such a
appreciate it.
pleasure. I can say being able to actually chat to all of you for once. Personally, it makes such a difference. And I think, hopefully next weekend, if we do this again, I'll be sure to join again and just kind of roll with the punches. I don't know if I'll be.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I don't know if I'll be lucid.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Now, do you think when you start doing instead of just show me your cool ass watches, which is nice. It's a lot of diversity there.
Yeah.
Do you think you might start going into more themes like
Yes, an amazing email came in not like 2 days ago. I can actually, if I can find the email, I can call him out, shout him out. But he said, what would be a great idea would be watches we regret buying and that we still have.
Yeah, great topic.
And in there, we can just sort of have a few one-liners talking about just why the watch is something that we regret owning for whatever reason, whether it's too expensive, whether it's just bizarre looking, and so it is.
That'd be a cool. Yeah, that'd be a cool stream.
Yeah, and then he also said that there'll be lots of violence in the chat too, because people will be saying it's horrendous, it's horrible, and could get a lot of banter going on there too.
And
there are some nice ideas for themes for sure.
Just like to say a great big thank you to Junior Johnson as well for
absolutely.
Yes,
Junior, thank you.
The watch to Shot in the Dark. You've got a new watch shot.
And Shot, just like I said, just send me your details in the private message me, and I'll get this off to you this week. Okay.
I'm sure you'll enjoy that a great deal of Shot in the Dark.
Yeah. So, guys, I don't think we could have asked for a better welcome back stream than the one we had today.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
Again, thank you everybody who tuned in, and a big thank you to Thomas Burnett for his Iron Man
stamina
research.
Stamina.
Thumbs up if you can, guys. That'd be great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thank
You
you,
can go to sleep now,
Zippo,
Thomas.
as always, man, manning the helm, steering
Yeah.
the ship. Thank you.
From his new abode.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. It's
Thank
been
you,
too
Chris.
long. Great to be back talking to everybody. So
Yep. And just for anybody new that's still watching, again, this is just a bunch of friends talking watches, and that's it.
Absolutely. Nothing better to do on a Sunday.
So we
Exactly.
don't need to make bovine calls or vomit noises.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty hungover. I won't. I'll add, but don't mind me. I had a bad night last night, but that's beside the point.
Too much enjoying yourself.
Bloody champagne, I tell you,
You
it
want
gets
some
worse.
steroids, ID guy?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's so nice
Yeah.
just being able to actually just take a breath and just listen to what everyone else says for a change. You know?
Yeah. I think
it's a pleasure.
the Larco was the watch of the show, I think.
Yeah, I reckon.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
James has already placed an order for us all from Joker.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks,
Nice
pleasure.
one.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, been a
Take care.
pleasure.
Cheers, guys.
Take care,
See you
guys.
See you all later.
See you next week.